Chapter 42. Ding! Random quest successfully accepted. The system's mechanical voice came. There are a lot of random quests. As the situation is triggered, it will appear to accept the quest. The reward is really ordinary. The difficulty is also moderate, so it's up to the individual whether to accept it or not. Tianyun is not in a hurry, plus there is a reward, he will definitely accept it. Killing monsters here, you can't get any luck points. You can only complete the quest. Immediately, he quickly put away the snow wolf, so as not to be seen. But if he really was seen, he will be surprised, but he won't feel strange. Because beast tamer is also a profession here, but it is extremely rare. In order not to cause any conflict, he decided to put it away. Sure enough, soon there was a sparse sound coming from the front. A few people rushed from the outside of the forest. When they saw Tianyun, they became vigilant and pulled out their swords from their waists, looking at him coldly. Who's there? The strong man looked at him with full vigilance, but his cultivation is not high, only second-level spirit refinement realm, but among this group of guards, his level is relatively high. There are a total of 4 guards, the remaining one is a beautiful girl, presumably Yenlingxue. The rest of the cultivation is lower than spirit refinement realm, around 7th or 8th level body refinement realm. They are qualified guards. Tianyun glanced at them, using the appraisal eye to list their detailed data, so their cultivation, their situation, everything is clear. What surprised him is the old man next to Yenlingxue. Although his cultivation is not the highest, he is also the first-level spirit refinement realm. The closest to Yenlingxue seems to be a housekeeper, more like a trusted aide. It seems that the hired guards are just 3 guards, but it is not a problem for them to come here to pick spirit herbs. Don't be nervous, I am just here to gain experience. Tianyun smiled. That was especially true of the old man. His body, which had been slightly bent, immediately straightened when he saw him. It was obvious that he was ready to attack. In this desolate and uninhabited forest, one had to be on their guard against anyone they met. Roar! At this time, a low roar came from behind, and a group of giant bears caught up to them, interrupting their conversation. This was the territory of bears, and a slight carelessness would lead to the attack of a group of giant bears. In the blink of an eye, they were surrounded by a group of giant bears. They were completely blocked, and there was no place for them to escape. Everyone, prepare to break out of the encirclement. The leader of the group roared and pulled out his sword. It was a pretty good low-grade spiritual weapon. Not everyone was like Tianyun, who could casually create a bunch of spiritual weapons. Sir, I'm sorry to have dragged you into this. Yenlingxue apologized, but the others didn't say anything, treating him as if he was invisible. Tianyun squinted his eyes and looked at her. It seems that this Yenlingxue is quite polite, at least not like these guards, not even willing to say a word of apology. Don't worry, I'll help you break out of the encirclement. Tianyun laughed and quickly approached them, but not too close. Boy, stay away. The strong man glared at him. He was afraid that Tianyun would loot a burning house. Big Brother Tan, don't be too nervous. I think this young master really wants to help us. Yenlingxue said. Moreover, at this time, what's the point of talking? Tan Yongxing's face darkened, but in the end, he still nodded. There was already a bear pouncing on him. Tan Yongxing rushed over and ruthlessly slashed down with his saber, cutting the giant bear in 2. It was an easy kill. Tan Yongxing's cultivation was originally higher than these giant bears, so killing them in a second was not surprising. The other guards moved to block the giant bears. Only the old man remained motionless, guarding Yenlingxue's side. As long as there is no threat to Yenlingxue, he won't make a move. Otherwise, the guards they hired would be meaningless. Roar! At this time, a giant bear suddenly pounced out of the forest, biting towards Yenlingxue. The smell of blood coming from its bloody mouth was so heavy that it made people want to vomit. When the old man was ready to kill the giant bear, Tianyun rushed over, aimed at the giant bear and smashed it. Bang! The giant bear was hit and flew out, disappearing into the forest. No one knows if it's alive or dead. Everyone looked at it from the corner of their eyes. They were shocked by the power. They didn't expect to be able to easily hit a giant bear with bare hands. This is really a natural brute force. Ding, successfully killed the giant bear, gained 700 EXP, 70 crazy point. The message that popped out proved that he successfully killed the giant bear, but there was no drop. Yan Lingshue's eyes lit up. This power is not bad, it's really eye-catching. But it doesn't seem to be too eye-catching, not as strong as the others. It seems that it was just a hit. Tan Yongxing glanced at it, and immediately did not say anything, continued to rush forward, and soon broke out of the encirclement. In the process, they killed all the giant bears that came their way, fulfilling their duty. Lian Yun also hit the giant bear on the side. His action looks casual, it's just hitting the giant bear. It doesn't look like they killed the giant bear. Because not killing the giant bear means that these giant bears will continue to fight back. It's still troublesome. In fact, only he knows that after the punch, it looks like it didn't die, but the inside has been shattered. It can't be more dead. Because Yi Tianyun helped them, they didn't say anything anyway. It's free. Soon, under the leadership of Tan Yongxing, they successfully broke out of the encirclement of the giant bear. When everyone saw that the giant bear behind them didn't catch up, they finally breathed a sigh of relief. It's really not an easy thing to get rid of these giant bears. Finally, they don't dare to catch up. Let's take a break. Tan Yongxing gasped, motioning them to take a break. Yi Tianyun is fine, but when he stopped, he heard a voice in his ear. Ding, completed the protection task, gained 5,000 EXP, 100 Yen Lingxue favorability, 10 prestige point. This task is easy to complete, easily get 10 prestige point. Yi Tianyun smiled. This kind of small task is quite cost-effective. If time permits, he hopes to do a few more of this task. After all, it can increase his prestige point. Prestige point is a great help to his luck. He doesn't know what will happen if he continues to increase it. Chapter 43. While everyone was gasping for breath, Yi Tianyun was relaxed. This was really not difficult for him. It was even more impossible for him to gasp for breath. Thank you for your hard work. Here are some recovery dawn. Take them and recover well. Yan Lingxue took a bottle of dawn and distributed it to the guards, and finally came to Yi Tianyun's side, handed it to him and said, "Young master, this is for your recovery dawn. This time I really thank you for your help." Draw your sword to help? They looked at this side. Several guards showed disdain in their eyes. Isn't this helping? Just sending the bear flying. What kind of ability is that? Maybe the giant bears that pounced after Yi Tianyun didn't kill them. That's why they counterattacked. But they didn't say anything. Anyway, they will leave soon. It's useless to say anything. Tianyun took the dawn. Anyway, it's free. It's a waste not to take it. Thank you. Yi Tianyun thanked. Anyway, his purpose has been achieved. It doesn't matter what other people think of him. You're welcome. This little girl is Yan Lingxue. I still don't know young master's name. Yan Lingxue smiled faintly. Her delicate face is always like a white lotus. Although not very beautiful, it looks very pure, easy to make people have a good impression. 100 points is enough for Yan Lingxue to become friends with him, so it's not surprising that she has this kind of feeling. This one is Yun Tian. He had reversed his name. He had long since put on the 100 transformation mask and changed his appearance. His age was about the same. The effect of the 100 transformation mask is to change the appearance of any age at will, but it can't change into a woman, only a man. He doesn't know whether the Wing sect issued a wanted order, but to be safe, he chose to hide his name and changed his appearance. This is undoubtedly a lot safer. Walking outside, if you don't pay more attention, it's easy to fall. So it's young Master Yi. Are you here to gain experience? Which family are you from? Yan Lingxue asked. I come from a declining family. This time, I came here for a walk, planning to gain some experience. Coincidentally, I saw you guys. That's how it turned out. Yi Tianyun smiled, not telling the truth. In any case, it was just a chance encounter. After completing the mission, Zhang Xian planned to leave. However, what he said next not only stunned him, but also stunned everyone else. Then I wonder if young Master Yi, since this is an experiential training, I would like to invite young Master Yi to be my guard and escort me to pick the spirit herbs. How about it? I'll calculate your remuneration. I don't know if you are willing to take this job? Yan Lingxue asked. Ding, do you accept the quest escort Yan Lingxue to pick spirit herbs? Reward, 10,000 experience, 20 favorability points, 15 prestige points. A task popped up in his mind. This was a task given by Yanling Xue, but he didn't know if he would accept it or not. His prestige points were not bad, but the favorability points increased a lot this time. He could understand that it was only a small increase. 100 points was the good friend status. If he continued to increase it, then it would evolve into other statuses. He must continue to accept tasks in order to completely change Yanling Xue's affection towards him. Accept? Yi Tianyun didn't think too much about it. Since it's on the way, he will do it together. Anyway, he only needed to find the spirit herbs. He didn't believe that he couldn't find the spirit herbs that Yanling Xue needed here. But after accepting the task, a discordant voice came from the side. Miss Yen, are you sure you want to accept this unknown kid? Tan Yongxing came over, looking at Yi Tianyun with a bit of dissatisfaction, but looking at Yanling Xue's eyes, it was more gentle, with a bit of admiration. Big brother Tan, the illusory Beast Mountain range is full of dangers, so I plan to find more helpers. Young Master Yi's skill is good, he has infinite strength. In the battle just now, he played a big role. Yanling Xue said with a smile, we were too anxious before, so we didn't find a few more. Now it seems that we really need to find a few more guards. The old man next to her did not speak, completely listening to Yanling Xue. Relying on this brute force kid? Before, he couldn't kill those giant bears with one punch. Instead, it easily angered those giant bears. If he is not decisive, it will only add to the trouble. Tan Yongxing frowned. He was not willing to accept this Yi Tianyun. As long as you give young Master Yi a weapon, I think the situation will be different. Obviously, Yanling Xue regarded him as a poor ghost. He didn't even have a weapon, only relying on his fists to kill the enemy. These words made Tan Yongxing look down on him even more. He didn't even have a weapon, how can he fight? Miss Yen, there is no need for this. With our strength, we are fully capable of protecting you. There is no need to continue to invite people. Tan Yongxing said in a deep voice. Some people, if invited, will easily become a burden. Although he didn't mention any names, but there is no doubt that he was targeting Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun frowned. Isn't this Tan Yongxing a bit too much? Yanling Xue also frowned. She felt that Tan Yongxing's words were a bit too much. Although he didn't kill them directly, at least he pulled out his sword to help, instead of abandoning them and running away. Big brother Tan, I have my own sense of propriety, having more people is safer, it's decided. Yanling Xue decided, no longer listening to Tan Yongxing's advice. Tan Yongxing frowned, there was a bit of anger in his eyes, but in the end he still coldly snorted, looked at Yi Tianyun and warned, boy, you have to listen to my instructions, understand? Otherwise, if you cause any trouble, you will have to bear all the consequences. No, I only listen to Miss Yen, she is my employer, not you. Yi Tianyun said indifferently. Asking him to listen to Tan Yongxing's words is simply a joke, he will only listen to Yanling Xue. Listening to this fool's words, the first to die will definitely be him. He felt that Tan Yongxing didn't come here as a guard, but to gain Yanling Xue's favor. It seems that he wanted to build a relationship with Yen family, that's why he came here as a guard. He must have rejected outsiders. Tan Yongxing's heart was burning with anger, but he couldn't find any flaws in Yi Tianyun's words. He couldn't say anything, but he also could not say anything. There is nothing to say. Yi Tianyun turned his head to look at Yanling Xue, smiled and said, Miss Yen, I will listen to your instructions. I don't know what spirit herb we are going to pick this time. Chapter 44. Tan Yongxing's heart was full of anger. He wanted to say something, but he couldn't refute anything. He just stared at him fiercely, turned around and left, no longer paying attention to him. The other guards also looked at him fiercely. They didn't have a good impression of Yi Tianyun. He was originally with Tan Yongxing. Tan Yongxing hated him. The others were not much better. Yanling Xue glanced over there. She could only apologize. I'm sorry, young Master Yi. Their nature is not bad, but they have some doubts about you. Please don't mind. Yi Tianyun was speechless. This nature is not bad? That's not bad to you, not bad to me, right? This feeling of rejection, he couldn't wait to kick himself out. This doesn't matter. I don't know, Miss Yen. What kind of spirit medicine are you looking for? Yi Tianyun asked. He wanted to find the spirit medicine quickly and complete this task. He didn't care about the rest. I'm looking for a spirit medicine called dragon tail grass. The nearby medicine buildings don't sell it. I can only come to pick it myself. I heard that it will appear in the middle of the illusory Beast Mountain range, but the number is extremely rare. Yenling Shue said. Dragon tail grass. Tianyun certainly knows what dragon tail grass is. Since he obtained beginner alchemy proficiency, he has already known a lot of lower-grade spirit medicines. Dragon tail grass is not high-grade, only second-grade, but the rarity is indeed relatively high. Usually it is difficult to find. Although it is difficult to find, it does not mean that the price will be high, because the effect of this dragon tail grass is relatively limited. It is mainly used to treat those who have hallucinations, that is, to treat those who are delirious. Under normal circumstances, this kind of situation rarely occurs. For example, cultivation deviation, this kind of situation will occur, otherwise, this kind of hallucination situation will not occur. Excuse me, Miss Yen, did someone in your family practice cultivation deviation? Tianyun asked. Young Master Yi, you also know the properties of this spirit medicine? Yenling Shue was a little surprised. The old man next to her couldn't help but look at him. Dragon tail grass is relatively rare, so few people know what its effect is. Tianyun did not say the effect, but he has already said the basic use. I know a little. Usually, when I have nothing to do, I will go and identify spiritual herbs. Otherwise, when I'm training here, I might see some spiritual herbs and not know what they are. If I miss them, it would be my loss, explained Tianyun with a smile. It seems that young Master Yi is really knowledgeable. I came here to pick spirit herbs for my family. Yenling Shue smiled faintly, but her eyebrows were full of worry. So that's the case, but Miss Yen doesn't have to worry. This trip will definitely find the dragon tail grass. Tianyun laughed. I hope so. Dragon tail grass is indeed difficult to find. It is not precious, but it is relatively rare, mainly because it rarely grows in this area. We have rested enough. Let's prepare to set off. Otherwise, it will be late. Tan Yongxing could not help but shout out when he saw the two of them chatting enthusiastically. Only then did they finish their preparations and continue on their way. Tianyun didn't care. Anyway, they are leading the way. Under the leadership of Tan Yongxing, they smoothly entered the central part of the illusory Beast Mountain range. There are many monsters here, and their cultivation base is basically around the first level of spirit refinement. On the way, they encountered some monsters, but they were easily beheaded by Tan Yongxing. Every time the monsters came, he took the lead to charge, in order to show off in front of Yenling Shue. Tianyun is too lazy to show off. Since Tan Yongxing wants to show off, he will let him show off. Strange, it's really hard to find. Is dragon tail grass really that hard to find? Tan Yongxing took them to search for a while in the middle of the mountain range. There was no trace of dragon tail grass at all. Seeing that the sky is getting darker and darker, if they continue like this, not only will it increase the difficulty of finding it, but the monsters will also become more frequent. After circling around, Tan Yongxing proposed, Miss Yen, it seems that this time we really can't find it. We can only temporarily evacuate. It's too dangerous to stay in this area at night. Yenling Shue is unwilling. She is more anxious to find this dragon tail grass. If they continue to delay like this, they will run out of time. Miss Yen, let me lead the way, okay? Tianyun stood up and said, Let's see if we can find it. Tan Yongxing glanced at him and said with disdain, Do you think you can find it by yourself? That's right, even Boss Tan can't find it. How can you find it? The guard next to him followed up with a sentence. He was very dissatisfied with Tianyun's words. Can't you see, Miss Yen is very anxious to find this dragon tail grass? If you are afraid, then you can go back, I will find it. Tianyun didn't want to delay. If they don't look for it, he will look for it himself. Once he finds the dragon tail grass, he will complete the task. Yenling Shue's beautiful eyes lit up. She is really anxious, otherwise she would not come in person. Those medicine stores said that there is no dragon tail grass for the time being, but they only need to wait for a few more days, and the cargo will be delivered, but she can't wait. We are afraid? Tan Yongsheng suddenly became angry. I am not worried about Miss Yen, it is so dangerous here at night. Since you said you can find it by yourself, then you lead the way. I want to see if you have any way to find this dragon-tail grass. His eyes were full of sarcasm. He would like to see what Yi Tianyun can do. If he can't find it, he will definitely lose his face. It just suits his heart. I don't have any way. I just want to look for it casually. There is no other meaning. Yi Tianyun certainly has no ability. He doesn't know where to start, but he wants to give it a try. You two don't have to quarrel. In that case, let young Master Yi lead the way. Yan Lingxue is obviously biased towards him. Although it is dangerous at night, she is really anxious. Well, I will listen to Miss Yen. Kid, this time you lead the way. Tan Yongxing sneered, reached out and motioned him to lead the way. At the same time, he retreated to the side. He has searched this area. He doesn't believe that Yi Tianyun can really find it. No problem. Yi Tianyun took a step forward, and then said in his heart, Luck Aura activate. Yes, he has no way to find the dragon-tail grass, but he has a way, that is to activate Luck Aura. With amazing luck, let's see if he can find this dragon-tail grass. After activating Luck Aura, Crazy Point rapidly decreased, 1 crazy point per second. How can it not be painful? Although it is a lot easier to earn now, but looking for something, it takes a lot of time. He walked forward with the crowd. The people behind him sneered, watching how he is looking. Yi Tianyun didn't feel anything, anyway. He just casually walked in a direction. After walking for a few minutes, he turned his head and looked around, and suddenly saw a spirit medicine that looks like a dragon's tail, inserted next to the tree root. Is this really possible? Yi Tianyun didn't expect to use Luck Aura like this. He just walked in a random place. It didn't take him long to find it. Chapter 45. Dragon Tail Grass. Yi Tianyun pointed to the bottom of the root, but his heart was happy. He didn't expect to really find it. It was so easy, there was no difficulty at all. This is luck. Where? Yan Lingshue's beautiful eyes looked in the direction pointed by Yi Tianyun and found that it was really dragon tail grass. She has read the detailed description, so she can tell at a glance whether this is dragon tail grass or not. It's really dragon tail grass. They were all stunned. They didn't expect to really find the dragon tail grass. It took less than a stick of incense to burn back and forth, but Yi Tianyun easily found it. Their previous mockery and suspicions had now turned into a vicious slap to their faces. Yi Tianyun walked over, and when he saw the dragon tail grass, he pulled it up. Just pulling it up, he felt a pain in his hand. He found that his palm was scratched by this dragon tail grass. Strange, can this dragon tail grass scratch me? Yi Tianyun felt strange. After careful inspection, he found that this dragon tail grass is a bit special. It is slightly bigger than the dragon tail grass he saw. In addition to this one, there are several other seemingly ordinary ones. They were picked up by him and immediately came over with the dragon tail grass. Did you really find it? Tan Yongxing was still skeptical. He really didn't want to believe that Yi Tianyun really helped them find the dragon tail grass, and it took a very short time. Miss Yen, this is the dragon tail grass for you. Yi Tianyun handed it to her, but it was the more ordinary one. The special one was left. When Yan Lingxue took the dragon tail grass, she looked at it carefully. She was surprised and smiled at Yi Tianyun. It's really dragon tail grass. I didn't expect young Master Yi to find it. It's amazing. She smiled like a flower. She couldn't close her mouth. He thought that it would take a long time to find it, and when the sky was completely dark, they would definitely evacuate. Who knew that they would find it after just a few rounds? This undoubtedly shortened the time needed. It's good that you found it. Let's go back now, said Yi Tianyun with a smile. The rest of them had ugly expressions on their faces. They felt awkward at the side. Previously, they were unwilling to let Yi Tianyun help them. Now, they found the place as soon as Yi Tianyun led the way. They were definitely embarrassed to death. Yan Lingxue smiled and nodded. Now they can finally go back. Ding! Congratulations on completing the mission. Escort Yan Lingxue to pick spiritual herbs. The reward is 10,000 experience points, 20 favorability points towards Yan Lingxue, and 15 prestige points. After finding the dragon tail grass, it means that the task is completed and he will get the reward. It is too easy. Just as he was about to leave with them, there was a sudden explosion as a ray of light soared into the sky from the distance. The multicolored light filled the sky. It seemed like a treasure had appeared, and a steady stream of spiritual energy fluctuations came from the distance. The most important thing is that this colorful light rushed from a distance and directly shrouded Yi Tianyun. This is like being chosen. This time, everyone was stupefied. Everything happened so suddenly, without any warning at all. The time-limited task Dragon God's Inheritance has been started. The time is 3 days. Reward, Dragon God's Inheritance. Failed to complete the task within the time limit and will be obliterated by the Dragon God. What the hell? Yi Tianyun was dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? If he fails, he will be obliterated by the Dragon God. What does this mean? Immediately, he glanced at the dragon tail grass and his heart sank. He said in amazement, "Is this the dragon tail grass?" Thinking about it carefully, this dragon tail grass is really strange. It is definitely not an ordinary dragon tail grass, and it is somewhat special. Usually, the dragon tail grass will never scratch people. But now he was scratched. The strange thing is that his blood was quickly absorbed by the ground. After absorbing the blood, the ground also emitted a little light. He didn't pay much attention at the time. Now that he thought about it, is this the prerequisite to start this task? I was chosen by the Dragon God? Is it because of this luck aura? Tianyun was shocked, so, my luck is really too good. Hearing that the reward for failure is to be obliterated by the Dragon God, his heart suddenly turned cold. What kind of luck is this? What is this situation? Yan Lingxue and the others were dumbfounded. Inexplicably, a beam of light shrouded Yi Tianyun. It seems that some kind of mechanism was triggered. However, this beam of light did not last too long. It only shrouded him for a moment and then disappeared completely. However, in the distance, there is a continuous release of a circle of light fluctuations. At a glance, it seems that there will be some treasures born. Miss Yen, I have to leave now. I hope this dragon tail grass can help you. After that, Yi Tianyun hurriedly ran into the forest and quickly disappeared from their sight. There are only 3 days left. It seems that he is still in the forest. Time must not be delayed. If he is too slow, he will be obliterated by the Dragon God. Although he doesn't know what the Dragon God is, hearing this name, he knows that it is not simple. Young master? Yan Lingxue wanted to let Yi Tianyun stay, but he disappeared in the blink of an eye, which made her deeply regret. She wanted to invite Yi Tianyun to go back as a guest. She didn't expect him to leave like this. At this time, Tan Yongxing was silent for a moment and immediately turned to the guard next to him and said, "You go with me, you will escort Miss Yen back. It is not too late to go back, there will be no danger." Then he said to Yan Lingxue, "Miss Yen, I will not escort you back. It seems that there is a treasure in front of us. We plan to go and have a look. There will not be much danger when we go back, please rest assured." After that, without waiting for Yan Lingxue to speak, he hurriedly chased after Yi Tianyun with his companions. Seeing that the treasure is about to be born, he hurriedly wanted to check it out. If he found some amazing treasure, who would care about this reward? When he becomes stronger, he will have everything. Yan Lingxue looked at their departing figures and looked up at the flashing light, but she shook her head. The most important thing for her now is to take this dragon tail grass back to save people, not to continue to stay here. Let's go. Yan Lingxue took one last look behind her and quickly retreated. She did not continue to stay here. The old man next to her also glanced at her. He did not say a word and continued to follow Yan Lingxue back. He completely listened to Yan Lingxue's instructions. He did not listen to other people's words. He will not casually take action. He just followed silently. At this time, Tan Yongxing quickly chased in the direction where Yi Tianyun disappeared. His eyes were cold. This kid, he must have gotten some information, otherwise, the light would not have shrouded him. What should we do now? The companion next to him said. Chapter 46. Yi Tianyun rushed all the way to the depths of the illusory Beast Mountain range and summoned the snow wolf. After riding on it, his speed suddenly increased. However, the deeper they get into the illusory Beast Mountain range, the stronger the monsters inside. When he went deep into the illusory Beast Mountain range, a huge black tiger suddenly blocked in front of them. Its pitch-black eyes stared at them, and it opened its huge mouth and pounced on them without hesitation. A strong momentum swept over here. 7th level Spirit Refinement Realm Cultivation. Go! Itianyun did not feel any pressure at all. Its cultivation is lower than him. The next moment he rode on the snow wolf and rushed forward. Itianyun bounced from the snow wolf at the same time and rushed towards the black tiger. At the same time when the snow wolf rushed to fight with it, Itianyun has already fallen on its body and rode on it. Absorbing Star's great technique. Itianyun will not miss this opportunity to gain experience. He now wants to quickly improve his cultivation. The time to go to heaven's immersing ancient ruins is not long. Don't forget, there is still the main quest there. He must complete it. As long as he improves his cultivation, and with this 100 transformation mask, he can openly sneak into the ruins. Ding! Get 130 EXP, 150 EXP, 120 EXP. Ding! Congratulations to player Itianyun. Absorbing Star's Great Technique proficiency reached 1000. Starting to upgrade Absorbing Star's Great Technique. Successfully upgraded Absorbing Star's Great Technique to Earth level martial art. Lower level requires 100,000 points of proficiency. Ding! Congratulations to player Itianyun. Dark North Divine Art proficiency reached 1000. Starting to upgrade Dark North Divine Art. Successfully upgraded Dark North Divine Art to Earth level martial art. Lower level requires 100,000 points of proficiency. Ding! Congratulations to player Itianyun. Frost Fist proficiency reached 1000. Starting to upgrade Frost Fist. Successfully upgraded Frost Fist to low-grade Spirit Tool. Lower level requires 10,000 points of proficiency. At this time, his cultivation technique and weapon began to improve, and his level suddenly rushed up. After killing monsters outside for so long, he had finally leveled up. This was not an easy thing to level up. It looked like there were only 1,000 proficiency points. Most of the time, it wasn't something that could be increased by a single punch. Rather, one had to deal a lot of damage in order to increase it. After leveling up, the speed at which he absorbed and gained EXP increased exponentially. Ding! Get 1,000 experience points, 1,300 experience points, 1,100 experience points. His experience bar had increased tenfold in an instant. Actually, it wasn't that his experience bar had increased tenfold, but his absorption speed and capacity had increased tenfold. In the blink of an eye, the black tiger's spiritual power was completely sucked dry. Originally, it wanted to throw off Itianyun, who was riding on its body, but before it could do so, its spiritual power was completely sucked dry. Its huge body went limp, and the snow wolf took the opportunity to stab it with its sharp claws, ending its life. Ding! Successfully killed Black Tiger, gained 6,000 EXP, 500 crazy point. Ding! Congratulations to player Itianyun for successfully leveling up to 9th level Spirit Refinement Realm. Ding! Congratulations to Pet Snow Wolf for successfully leveling up to 6th level Spirit Refinement Realm. After the successful kill, the accumulated EXP finally reached the standard for leveling up. This made Itianyun excited. He finally leveled up again. If it weren't for the Snow Wolf, he would have already started killing crazily in this area. Leveling up wasn't a difficult thing to do. Very good, keep going. Itianyun turned over and landed on the Snow Wolf, and continued to rush inside. As long as a monster pounced on him, he won't refuse. First, he pounced on the monster and absorbed its spiritual power. Because of the upgrade of his martial arts, the absorption speed is too terrifying. The monster had no strength to fight back. At this speed, he soon came to the depths of the illusory Beast Mountain. As he went deeper, the feeling became stronger and stronger. This should be ready to reach the destination. Itianyun took out the dragon tail grass from his arms. This dragon tail grass exudes a faint red glow, as if guiding him. Under the constant running of the Snow Wolf, he finally reached the destination. Over there, Itianyun's eyes narrowed. Not far away, there was a colorful light coming this way. He quickly rode the snow wolf. After rushing out of the forest, his eyes suddenly opened up, and in front of him was a huge temple. Looking at the soil around the temple, it looks like it has just emerged from the ground. If it has been here for a long time, the soil must be stuck to the temple, but now it is rolling out. This is the Dragon God Temple? Lee Tianyun looked up. On the stone pillars around the Dragon God Temple, there is a huge dragon wrapped around it. Each dragon looks lifelike, and the next moment it will fly away. But the door is closed, it seems to be closed and can't be opened. He put away the snow wolf and looked around the Dragon God Shrine. A wave of dragon might spread out from the inside, making people want to kneel down from the bottom of their hearts. Immediately, he didn't think much and approached the door. Just as he stepped on the steps, he paused a little, his eyes slightly glanced to the side, revealing a smile. Then he continued to walk forward, reached out and covered the door, pushing it forward, but no matter how hard he tried, it was useless. The door can't be opened at all, making him frown. I can't open it. Do I have to use the dragon tail grass? Lee Tianyun took out the dragon tail grass and pressed it on the door. Then the dragon tail grass bloomed with colorful light, like the key to open the door. The huge door made a loud rumble sound and opened inside. After opening a hole, he walked in, but as soon as he walked in, the door began to rumble and was ready to close. At this moment, two figures rushed in from the outside. As soon as they got in, the door rumbled and slammed shut. Oh, sure enough, you followed me. You didn't escort Miss Yen back, but followed me. This is a dereliction of duty. When Lee Tianyun saw Tan Yongxing rushing in, he was not surprised. Generally, when people see this situation, they will quickly follow up. It is possible to find treasures. How can they miss this opportunity? Tan Yongxing looked at him with a grim expression, staring at the dragon tail grass in his hand and said, I didn't expect you to be so lucky. This dragon tail grass is the key to the Dragon God Temple. Hand over this dragon tail grass and I will spare your life. Spare my life? Lee Tianyun smiled. If he hadn't killed the demon beasts along the way, how could they have caught up with him? Or, how could they have followed him safely? They would have been intercepted by the demon beasts. Chapter 47. Yes, hand over the dragon tail grass, and we will spare your life. Tan Yongxing's expression was ferocious, looking at him with eyes full of killing intent and greed. He is not a fool. He can see that this dragon tail grass is the key. Opening the door used this dragon tail grass, and it may be used later, so this dragon tail grass must be obtained. I think, even if I hand over the dragon tail grass, you will not let me go, right? Lee Tianyun looked at the killing intent in Tan Yongxing's eyes, but smiled slightly, not caring at all. Tan Yongxing and his companions have already circled around and surrounded him. They want to surround him from the bottom of their hearts and don't want to let him escape into this dragon temple. With the dragon tail grass as the key, they don't have this dragon tail grass, so they dare not say that they can go unhindered inside. At least it's much better than you not handing it over. The next moment, Tan Yongxing has already rushed up, quickly pulled out a long sword in his hand, and pierced it at an amazing speed, aiming directly at Lee Tianyun's heart, trying to kill him in one blow. Lee Tianyun is motionless in the same place, like a fool, letting Tan Yongxing slaughter him. When Lee Tianyun was about to stab Lee Tianyun suddenly moved and disappeared from his spot. Tan Yongxing's pupils constricted, the spirit sword in his hand has stabbed the air, disappeared. Immediately after, a palm climbed on his shoulder and pressed him to the ground. The terrifying force pressed him down, and he couldn't help but kneel down. With a dong sound, he knelt in front of Lee Tianyun. Your speed? Tan Yongxing was shocked. Whether it was strength or speed, it was far crushing him. At this time, he immediately reacted, Lee Tianyun's strength is definitely crushing him. Lee Tianyun did not wait for him to speak, he grabbed his shoulder, and the absorbing star's great technique in his body ran wildly. In the blink of an eye, the spiritual power in his body was quickly drawn out. 1500 EXP, 1300 EXP. Tan Yongxing wanted to struggle, but he was pinned to the ground by Lee Tianyun. He could not move at all. In particular, a deep sense of powerlessness came from within his body. In the blink of an eye, More than half of the spiritual energy in his body had been sucked out. After leveling up, it would be an Earth-level martial art. Generally, Earth-level martial arts only belonged to large sections. There are Earth-level martial arts in Jade Palace, but only Elder level can practice it, and there are only 1 or 2 of them. This was enough to prove how rare it was. It wasn't something that could be found anywhere. Earth-level martial arts were much stronger than human-level martial arts. The 10-fold increase in effect was the best proof. "Boss Tan, I'm here to save you." His companion roared and rushed towards Yi Tianyun. He brandished his sword and stabbed towards Tan Yongxing, wanting to save him. However, the difference in their cultivation bases was too great. Yi Tianyun didn't even try to dodge. He raised his hand and flicked the long sword that was coming towards him. The violent vibration shook the long sword that was tightly gripped in his hand. At the same time, he reached out and dragged the cultivator, pressed him to the ground, and then he knelt on the ground. The spiritual power in his body was sucked out crazily. Almost in the blink of an eye, this spiritual power was sucked out, and there was nothing left. Originally, this cultivator's cultivation base was low enough, only 7th or 8th level body refinement realm. Facing this suction, he was sucked dry in the blink of an eye. His spiritual power was sucked dry, as if he was defenseless. He didn't have any strength to fight. "What do you think?" Yi Tianyun said with a faint smile on his face. Tan Yongxing's face was pale, and he finally knew who was the real strength. It turned out that Yi Tianyun looked weak before, but it was all a pretense. "Great, great hero, I beg you to spare my life. I won't dare anymore." Tan Yongxing hurriedly begged for mercy, and his forehead was full of cold sweat. "Do you think it's useful to say these words now?" Tianyun said. After Tan Yongxing heard this, his face became even paler. He wanted to kowtow, but he was pressed by Yi Tianyun, so he couldn't kowtow at all. He could only tremble and keep begging for mercy. "I beg you, don't kill me. I am willing to do anything for you. As long as you don't kill me, I am willing to do anything for you. I can do it." The cultivators next to him also begged for mercy. In order to live, they were willing to do anything. "Really, that's a pity. Some things, you have to pay the price." Yi Tianyun sneered, and the inextinguishable fire appeared on his hands. In an instant, it poured into their bodies. Xiong, they were completely burned. "Ah!" They screamed, and under this terrible inextinguishable fire, they were completely burned to ashes. This is their final ending. Begging for mercy, it has long been meaningless. Yingyun shook his head. When they came in and said those words, they were doomed to this end. If his cultivation was too weak, the ending would not be like this, but he would be dead. Ding successfully killed Tan Yongxing, gained 2000 EXP, 200 crazy point. Ding successfully killed Kai Wen, gained 800 EXP, 80 crazy point. The two of them were like two small monsters. They didn't drop anything. However, this is also because he didn't even open the lucky aura, so nothing dropped. After killing the two of them, Yi Tianyun turned and walked into the palace, too lazy to look at them. Looking at the Dragon God Palace again, the decoration inside is the same as the outside, so magnificent. However, because it has been here for too long, it looks very dilapidated, as if there is no sign of activity for a long time. There is a thick layer of dust around it. This dragon god inheritance, who gets this dragon tail grass first, can get it? Tianyun frowned, thinking that it is so simple. Whoever gets this dragon tail grass first can become the inheritor. This is a bit too casual, isn't it? It is impossible to think about it. He can only continue to go deeper. After entering this passage, suddenly a row of sharp arrows shot out from the wall, and the speed was quite fast. However, Yi Tianyun's eyes were quick, and he quickly used Heavenly Cloud Step and turned into a flying cloud, rushing inside, and quickly dodging the arrow. However, he had only taken a few steps forward when countless arrows pierced towards him, intending to turn him into a sieve. Yi Tianyun did not panic and continued to rush forward, easily avoiding these sharp arrows, and continued to rush forward. However, as he moved forward, countless sharp arrows came from the walls around him, and it was not until he rushed out of the passage that the attack finally stopped. Chapter 48. When he passed through this passage, he saw the same spacious palace, but in this palace there are 4 stone statues, all in the image of a dragon, that is, a dragon with a dragon head and a human body, holding different weapons standing on both sides. The dragon aura exudes from them. The level of carving is really lifelike. It looks like in the next moment, they will raise the weapons in their hands and rush towards him. Dragon race belongs to the level of divine beast, belongs to a powerful race. There is no dragon race here. But looking at this dragon god temple, presumably the dragon race used to stay here, but because of the crazy expansion of human race, they were forced to retreat. Not to mention, in terms of numbers, the human race definitely has an absolute advantage, completely crushing the existence of other races. As such, they intermarried with each other, and the differences between them seemed to be minimal. The dragon man before them was one of the products. He was half human, half dragon. However, there were more dragon scales on him now, and there would no longer be a situation where he had a dragon head and a human body. What kind of test will there be here? Tianyun frowned and looked around. He did not see anything strange. When he continued to walk forward, suddenly one of the stone statues shook the stone fragments on its body, and a long spear was aimed at him. If you want to pass here, you must first defeat me. Before he finished speaking, a palm has already stuck to him. Not waiting for him to finish, Tianyun has already used Absorbing Star's great technique. When he jumped over, his palm has already sucked the stone statue. The stone statue was immediately sucked in fiercely. It can't break free. But the stone statue was not afraid. It was unmoved, and continued to hold the long spear to stab. Tianyun twisted his body, dodged the stab, and reached out to grab the long spear and dragged it over. But Tianyun's palm fiercely stuck to the stone statue. A super strong suction force pulled out the spiritual power inside the stone statue, and in the blink of an eye, it was sucked clean. Bang! At this time, the formation on the stone statue's chest exploded. Without the flow of spiritual power, the stone statue immediately collapsed. The formation directly exploded. Ding successfully killed the stone guard statue, gaining 3,000 EXP, 300 crazy point. Tianyun let go of the spear in his hand and threw it to the side. He said indifferently, "Defeating you? Isn't that obvious? You're already pointing your spear at me." Rumble. Following that, another stone statues came to life. In fact, these were just puppet statues. They were all maintained by an array. As long as the spiritual energy in their bodies was sucked dry, these puppets would be completely crippled. Tianyun looked up and saw the detailed data of the stone statue in the appraisal eye. Stone statue, 5th level spirit refinement realm, HP, 5000, weapon. Common iron high level, body defense. Common iron high level, combat power, 4700. Compared to Tianyun's current battle power of 20,000, this value was really trash, so he didn't need to prepare anything and just rushed over. After easily dodging the stone statue's attack, Zhang Xian stuck to it once more and madly extracted the spiritual energy within its body, easily destroying it. Not only can he gain experience, but he can also practice this martial art proficiency. Thinking about it, 100,000 proficiency is really a long time. But after this martial art level is upgraded, it will definitely bring more terrifying effects. Thinking about it makes him a little excited. Above the earth level, that is heaven level. Heaven level's devour ability is bound to explode. It is estimated that if it continues to devour more than 10,000 EXP at once, those with low cultivation will be directly sucked dry. Rumble. After defeating the stone statue, another stone statue came to life. Well, its cultivation has been upgraded to 6th level spirit refinement realm. It's really stacked layer by layer. Tianyun looked at the detailed data. The new stone statue is stronger than the previous one, but for him, it's just a part of the experience. He immediately rushed over and killed the stone statue. After the stone statue was broken, it turned into EXP and crazy point and poured into his body. After killing the stone statue, the last stone statue came to life. The cultivation reached 7th level spirit refinement realm, and the result was also easily killed by him. It's too poor. Even if I use luck aura, it won't drop anything. Tianyun shook his head, feeling quite helpless. It seems that even if a good thing is dropped, it will be killed by a monster. At least there should be a treasure that can drop something similar. Of course, it is also possible that his luck is too low to drop something better. Appraisal eye can be upgraded. I don't know what effect it will have after upgrading. Tianyun looked at the appraisal eye. Upgrading it requires 50,000 crazy point. He shook his head helplessly. He can't upgrade it at present. The consumption is too much. But he believes that with the improvement of his cultivation, he will get more crazy point later. Upgrading it will be more cost-effective. Rumble. When he defeated the stone statues, the door in the distance slowly opened. It seems that if he doesn't defeat these stone statues, he can't pass. From this point of view, it is indeed a test. If he doesn't defeat them, he can't pass. Tianyun adjusted himself and continued to walk inside. He was careful along the way. If he dies here, it will be a big loss. When he walked into this passage, there were no traps along the way. It seems that I am overthinking. There are no low-level traps in front. Tianyun nodded and quickly passed through the passage. After walking out of the passage, suddenly the front suddenly opened up. The first thing that came into view is a throne, a golden skeleton sitting on it, looking down at him. Even if it is just a pile of skeletons, there is a terrifying dragon aura spreading in this hall, making people breathless. What a strong aura! Tianyun's heart sank. Is this the legendary dragon god? To be able to be called as a dragon god, its cultivation naturally can't be low, but no matter how high its cultivation is, it's still turned into a pile of bones here. He looked up and down the skeleton with appraisal eye, but he can't see anything. The data is in an unknown state. My people is finally here. The eyes of the skeleton suddenly burst into golden flames, and its aura suddenly soared. My clansman? What's going on? When did I become his clansman? Tianyun was startled. When did he become his child? He was a human. Chapter 49. The eyes of the dragon god in front of him stared at him, as if to see through him. In fact, the dragon god has long lost its consciousness, but it left behind an obsession. According to the appropriate bloodline, it will guide the inheritor of the same race to accept the inheritance. Therefore, even if Tianyun is a human, the dragon god does not know and can only directly give the inheritance. Take out the dragon god grass, swallow it, and come to accept the inheritance. After the dragon god finished speaking, the bones of his whole body broke and turned into a pile of powder. At the same time, it turned into a golden light, wrapped the entire throne. This thing is called dragon god grass? Tianyun took out the dragon god grass. It looks like dragon tail grass, but it is a little different from ordinary dragon tail grass. Perhaps this little difference can be called dragon god grass. Immediately, he did not think much and swallowed the dragon god grass. It was not bitter in the mouth, but a sweet taste rushed into his body. Immediately, there is a force in his body that instantly surged around, filling his whole body in an instant. His body is full. Under this terrifying power, his body began to be filled to the brim. Blue veins began to bulge on his arms. It was obvious that they were being stretched. Is this still dragon tail grass? It's too terrifying. Tianyun felt this terrifying force. It is not the effect brought by dragon tail grass at all. The effect brought by normal dragon tail grass is not as violent as taking medicinal pills. In fact, it is used to cure hallucinations. It is not this kind of situation at all. It seems that the slight difference is really dragon god grass. The power in his body began to roar, and there was a crazy dragon roar, as if there was a real dragon running around in his body. When the dragon roar crazily hit the meridians in his body, a steady stream of energy began to emerge. He felt that the blood in his body began to have a great change. Before, his blood was deficient and he could not cultivate his blood, but now it began to surge endlessly. This is different from the forced upgrade of the system, but the situation in the body, the power of the blood began to change dramatically. It seems that something has been stimulated. Immediately, dragon scales began to appear on the surface of his body. In the blink of an eye, his entire body was covered with a layer of dragon scales. However, it was not thick and only covered a small layer. It looked extremely domineering. This was completely a dragon man, and a very thoroughly evolved one at that. There was no situation of having a dragon head and a human body, but rather a perfect combination of the two. Ding gained 8,000 experience points, 9,000 experience points, 12,000 experience points. Experience points were pouring in like crazy, unable to stop at all. Clearly, after consuming the dragon god grass, the energy obtained was constantly being converted into experience. His experience was rising like a madman, and it didn't slow down at all. Could it be that I really am a descendant of the dragon clan? Tianyun was stunned. He thought of his own parents. Although he didn't know much about them, he had heard that his father was a super strong warrior. It was very likely that his bloodline had been passed down from him. Under the influence of the dragon god grass, it began to fully awaken. Perhaps it was because of this that the dragon god thought that he was a member of the dragon tribe. Whatever, the most important thing now is to quickly accept the inheritance. Tianyun didn't think too much about it. These things about his parents had nothing to do with him. After all, he didn't have any impression of them, and it had nothing to do with him. The closest person to him was his aunt Shuayun. He wanted to quickly improve his cultivation, and then return to Jade Palace, in case something happened to Jade Palace. When he got close to the throne, the ball of golden light immediately enveloped him, completely enveloping him. Following that, a surge of memories surged into his head. After a while, the light became fainter and fainter, and finally completely integrated into his body and disappeared. Ding! Congratulations to player Tianyun for completing the Dragon God Inheritance quest. Obtain Dragon God Inheritance, Dragon God Secret Art. Ding! Congratulations to player Tianyun for successfully obtaining Dragon God Bloodline, first level. Tianyun slowly woke up and found that he had two more things. One is the Dragon God Secret Art, and the other is Dragon God Bloodline. What is this thing? Tianyun hurriedly checked to see what effect these two things have. Dragon God Secret Art. Divine art that can transform into a dragon, heaven level. As the level of Dragon God Bloodline increases, the power will increase. Dragon God Bloodline. Dragon God Blood. As the level increases, the dragon power can be stimulated. This is a good thing. The combination of the two is really seamless. I just don't know what level of effect it will reach. Tianyun was excited. This is the inheritance. In addition to the small test in front, there is basically no more difficult test. Fortunately, there is no strong core condensation realm guard, otherwise he really can't come in. Let's see how the situation is now. Immediately, Tianyun opened his personal status to see the current comprehensive situation. Player, Tianyun level, 19, 9th level Spirit Refinement, EXP, Crazy Point, 8728 Prestige, 50 points, Cultivation Technique, Dark North Divine Art, Dragon God Secret Art Martial Arts, Absorbing Stars Great Technique, Sky Cloud Step, 10,000 Swords Return to Origin Weapon, Frost Fist, Scarlet Dagger, Wind Chasing Sword Armor, Snow Wolf Battle Boots, Divine Armor, Shadow Cloak Divine Ability, Crazy Mode, Luck Aura Bloodline, Dragon God Bloodline Decoration, Forging God Hammer, Power Bracelet, Power Ring, Power Belt. All items. 5 times EXP card, for Recovery Medicinal Pill, Gift Pack, Torrential Pear Blossom Needle. Tianyun looked at it and felt that it is still very good. He can go out and continue to hunt demon beasts, then he can break through to the peak of Spirit Refinement Realm. There is a lot of crazy point. He can draw 6 lottery, but he is not willing to use it for the time being. Even if he uses Luck Aura, it may not necessarily draw good things. For now, the equipment is not bad. It was okay to draw some good items, but most of them weren't that high in grade. Leveling up the items was the best choice. Dragon God Bloodline can be upgraded. Tianyun checked the Dragon God Bloodline, and the system immediately responded. Dragon God Bloodline, to upgrade to the next grade, requires 10,000 crazy point. The system replied. Only 10,000 crazy point? Tianyun was stunned. He thought it would need more than 10,000 crazy point, and then looked again. The max level is 9th level. He suddenly became speechless. Afterwards, he walked around the surroundings to see if there were any other treasures. After walking around for a long time, he discovered that there was nothing here. It was completely empty. Everything had been taken away, except for the divine hall. It seems that when the evacuation happened, only the dragon god stayed. Although he doesn't know the situation, he can guess that when the dragon race completely evacuated here, everything was removed, and the only one left was the dragon god. It is estimated that the dragon god was seriously injured, or his life is coming to an end, so he didn't choose to leave, but stayed here and left his inheritance. Chapter 50. After careful observation, Itianyun didn't find any other treasures, so he could only choose to leave. As for this dragon god shrine, he can't move it away, so he can only leave it here. If it could be moved away, the dragon god would have moved it long ago. Why would it be stored here? It seems that it's time to go. There's no point in staying here. Itianyun walked out, and when he returned to the original door, suddenly there was a dong-dong sound outside, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't open the door. This is the dragon god shrine. If his cultivation is too weak, he can't open it. As for how strong is needed, he doesn't know, at least the level of core condensation or above. Sure enough, someone will come. Seeing such a shining light, it would be strange if they didn't come. Itianyun frowned. This is not a good thing. There are so many people gathered outside. If he goes out now, he will definitely be besieged. But if he doesn't go out, he can't hide here for the rest of his life, so he can only choose to go out. It seems that there is no way. I can only go out? Itianyun's eyes flashed coldly, and his killing intent rose. Soon after, he arrived in front of the door and pushed it forcefully. The entire door immediately emitted bursts of light, and the veined patterns on it gradually lit up. After it was completely lit up, it let out a rumbling sound and slowly opened to the outside. This door is open. It's true. Retreat, suddenly opened. I don't know what kind of monster will come out. Is the owner of this place coming out? Let's get away from here. The noise outside continued to come. When the door was fully opened, what caught their eyes was not a monster, nor a super strong person, but a young man. They were stunned on the spot. They were dumbfounded by the situation. How could a young man come out? It seems that his cultivation is not strong. They looked at Itianyun. Tianyun also looked at them. There are a lot of cultivators gathered outside. The lowest is Body Refinement Realm Level 5, the highest is Spirit Refinement Realm Level 8 or 9. They are all cultivators who came here to gain experience or just happened to pass by. Although the illusory Beast Mountain range is not bad, but the core condensation stage powerhouses are useless. Basically, they will be crushed. Here, the strongest is only at the 7th or 8th level of Spirit Refinement Realm. Core Condensation Realm is meaningless. This place had long been developed, so there were no secrets to speak of. Now that they had come out of the Dragon God Shrine, they were probably on their way here, at least for the time being. Itianyun ignored their stares and lifted his foot to walk outside. As soon as he walked out, the door was completely closed with a loud bang. It was completely closed. He was probably the only one who could open this door, unless it was destroyed by a super expert. Everyone stared at him blankly. When he was halfway through, they reacted. One of the 9th level Spirit Refinement Realm cultivator immediately said, "Kid, stop." Itianyun didn't bother to pay attention to them and continued to move forward, but there are too many people in front of him, adding up to more than 100 people. They all tightly surrounded this place. Unless he can fly, it's really not easy to get out. Stealth is useless. After all, if he gets close, he will be exposed. He will not be invisible. Stealth is not invincible. As long as he gets close, people with lower cultivation than him can sense him. It's not that he can't see anything. What? Itianyun said indifferently. What can happen? How did you come out? One of the cultivators asked fiercely after he reacted. After going in, I came out again. Isn't this normal? Itianyun said in a deep voice, "You don't have to think about me. If you want to open that door, find a way to open it yourself, and I didn't get any treasure from it, so please let me go. I am in a hurry." When these words came out, more people surrounded him. Suddenly not even a drop of water could pass through. What a joke. Do you think we will believe your words? One of the burly men sneered. Quickly hand over the treasure, otherwise don't blame us for being rude. That's right, quickly hand over the treasure, or open the door, otherwise don't blame us for being rude. You think you can escape from the palms of so many people, obediently hand over the treasure? Do you think you are 3 years old? They all looked fiercely at Yi Tianyun, thinking that Yi Tianyun is too young, think that his cultivation is too low, think that he is easy to bully? If you want to open the door, open it yourself. Why should I help you open it? And even if I get the treasure, why should I give it to you? What did you pay? Tianyun said coldly. We have waited here for so long, that is the price we paid. That's right, quickly hand over the treasure, otherwise you will die today. Their faces were ferocious, coming out from such a big temple without any treasure. Isn't this a joke? Who would believe it if they said it out? I will say it for the last time, please step aside, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. Yi Tianyun's eyes were cold. What a good price. Waiting here is a good price. It is really quite funny. However, his words are not threatening at all. On the contrary, it made the encirclement even more serious, constantly approaching this side. Be rude to us, I want to see how you are going to be rude to us. After the cultivator finished speaking, he immediately rushed forward and stretched out his hand to grab Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun's eyes turned cold, quickly pulled out his saber. The wind-chasing blade turned into a lightning, fiercely chopped forward. Swoosh, like a lightning strike. In the next moment, the cultivator's arm was completely cut off. Ah! The cultivator clutched his arm and screamed. The severe pain made him kneel on the ground. Under the electric shock effect of the wind-chasing blade, he twitched incessantly. This cruel action not only did not scare away the others, but also attracted a wave of greedy eyes. This is a good spiritual weapon, at least upper grade, right? Did you see that flash just now? I suspect that even the best spiritual weapons can't achieve this effect. Boy, you said you didn't get the treasure. What is this? Quickly hand it over. Don't think that you can escape. They quickly surrounded him. Their expressions were ferocious, looking at him with cold eyes, like greedy tigers. Yi Tianyun just chopped off an arm, but he was not deterred at all. First, this cultivator's cultivation was too low. Second, they felt that Yi Tianyun was too weak. Yi Tianyun's eyes turned cold, glanced around, and said in a deep voice, I will give you one last warning, either die or get lost. Chapter 51. Yi Tianyun took out his ultimate weapon, torrential pear blossom needle. Within a radius of 100 meters, any cultivator below the spirit refinement stage will be killed instantly. Many of the people present are within 100 meters, which means that as long as he activates it, a lot of people here will be killed directly. I will give you one last chance, either get out of here or die. Yi Tianyun held the torrential pear blossom needle and looked at them coldly. He has already advised them, if it's really useless, then he doesn't mind sacrificing them here. It's not that he doesn't want to give them a chance, but these idiots insist on courting death. Yo, what is this thing? It's small and exquisite. Is it a killer weapon? Not weak, just taking out a few treasures from inside and you think you're powerful? This is too funny. Catch him and search for treasures inside. They rushed over with red eyes, ignoring Yi Tianyun's advice. For them, the most important thing is to get the treasures in their hands. The weak are prey to the strong. This is the truth. They don't care about Yi Tianyun's life or death. As long as they get the treasures, they can become stronger and enjoy wealth. Crazy experience mode, activate. 5 times experience card, activate. Luck aura, activate. After activating all of them, Yi Tianyun gently opened the torrential pear blossom needle. In an instant, a silver light burst out from this small iron box. Countless golden needles crazily shot around. The closest cultivator was instantly pierced through. His eyes rolled and directly fell to the ground, no breath left. With him as the center, the golden needles sputtered wildly in all directions. One after another cultivator fell and died directly. Like cutting grass, layer after layer fell down silently. There wasn't even a splash of blood. They all fell down one after another, lying on the ground. Those in the back noticed it and quickly wanted to escape, but it was too late. They were easily pierced by the golden needles, just like piercing a piece of tofu, without any difficulty. After being pierced by this small golden needle, they just fell. In fact, it may look like a small golden needle, one may not play any role, but what about 1,000 or 10,000? the meaning was completely different. It was an instant kill. Ding successfully killed Lu Yun, gaining 3,800 EXP, 1 recovery pill, 80 crazy point. Ding successfully killed Long Tianyang, gaining 15,000 EXP, 1 double EXP pill, 600 crazy point. Ding successfully killed Wang Tiancheng, gained 8,700 EXP, Gale Sword, 200 crazy point. Ding success. The EXP value jumped crazily, it rushed up all of a sudden, whether it is EXP or crazy point, both are jumping crazily, it can't stop. Some of them didn't even hear it clearly before they started reporting a new message. The speed at which the torrential pear blossom needles killed people was too fast. It basically killed a group of people in one go. In the blink of an eye, everyone within 100 meters fell to the ground. Some ran out of the 100 meters and were lucky enough to survive. There were very few who survived. There were only 3 or 4 left. These were the lucky ones. Before, they surrounded Yi Tianyang in a circle, they didn't want to miss the opportunity to snatch the treasure. Therefore, there were not many who were too far away. The rest of them had very low cultivation level, they just came to see the excitement. When they saw that something was wrong, they quickly retreated and escaped the disaster. They looked at Yi Tianyun standing in the midst of so many corpses, their eyes showed fear. The next moment they turned around and ran away. Ghost, demon, demon. Too terrible, too terrible. They ran away madly, hating their parents for not giving them an extra leg so they could run faster. They will never forget this scene in their life. Even if a core condensation expert came, they can't kill them so fast. In the blink of an eye, a large group of people died. Although they didn't confirm whether they are alive or not, but they know that they are definitely dead. When they ran away, Tianyun felt the thrill of leveling up crazily. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun. Successfully broke through to 10th level of Spirit Refinement Realm. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun. Successfully broke through to 1st level of Core Condensation Realm. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun. Successfully broke through to 2nd level of Core Condensation Realm. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun. Successfully broke through to 3rd level of Core Condensation Realm. Although it's crazy, it's not particularly crazy. It's only 4 levels, it's not that crazy. But for other cultivators, it's already super crazy. He easily broke through to Core Condensation Realm and reached 3rd level of Core Condensation Realm. It's wonderful, the speed of leveling up is too fast. Yi Tianyun looked at the empty shell in his hand. It's no longer useful. He threw it to the side and looked down at the corpses on the ground. At this time, their blood began to slowly flow out and permeate the ground. Immediately, he was too lazy to look at them anymore. He lifted his foot and walked out. Although his cultivation has improved, it's not easy to deal with several strong cultivators at Core Condensation Realm. After walking far away, he stopped to count all the loot. This time he killed so many cultivators, he doesn't know how many things he got. Ding! Congratulations, completed quest, buy materials back to Jade Palace. Reward, 10,000 EXP, 1,000 gold, 1 lottery ticket, increase favorability by 20 points. At this time, Yi Tianyun was stunned. How did he suddenly complete this quest? He immediately thought that they must have brought the materials back, which is equivalent to completing the quest. Although it's through other people's hands, but it's still considered as completing the quest. Another quest completed, it seems that they reached Jade Palace safely. Yi Tianyun breathed a sigh of relief. If it's because of his situation that they can't go back, then he has a lot of responsibility. Although it has nothing to do with him, but this matter is caused by him, so it must be related to him. Immediately, he brought up all of his attributes, and everything was clear at a glance. Player, Yi Tianyun level, 23, 3rd level of Core Condensation, EXP, 28728 Crazy Point Prestige, 50 points Cultivation Technique, Dark North Divine Art, Dragon God Secret Art Martial Arts, Absorbing Stars Great Technique, Sky Cloud Step, 10,000 Swords Return to Origin Weapon, Frost Fist, Scarlet Dagger, Wind Chasing Blade, Heavenly Wind Blade Armor, Snow Wolf Battle Boots, Deity Armor, Shadow Cloak Divine Ability, Crazy Mode, Luck Aura Bloodline, Dragon God Bloodline Decoration, Forging God Hammer, Power Bracelet, Power Ring, Power Belt. All items. 20 Recovery Elixirs, 10 double EXP Elixirs, 1 Lottery Entry, Gift Bag LV21. There are a lot of things, all of them are skills and weapons, armor, but they are some ordinary goods. There is not much to speak of. The most important thing is that his cultivation has increased. His crazy point has reached almost 30,000 points. This time he had really struck it rich. He had harvested so much in one go. He had earned more than killing a boss. Chapter 52. His cultivation has improved a lot, but it's still far from enough for him. Let's draw first. It's rare to get another chance to draw. Luck Aura Activate. After activating Luck Aura, he immediately clicked on the lottery roulette and used this free chance to draw. Soon the roulette spun crazily, and the needle kept jumping between various areas. It seems like it will stop at any time. Divine Skill, Divine Skill? Lee Tianyun kept shouting in his heart, this thing is definitely not enough. Finally, the roulette stopped, and the needle steadily fell on the consumable. Even if he activates Luck Aura, he may not get a good thing. This is why he doesn't want to draw. He often holds the hope that next time he may get something better, but in the end, the things he gets are relatively ordinary. Originally, the accumulated Luck Aura can be upgraded to a divine skill or a treasure, but spending it on the lottery to get something not good is a waste. Congratulations on getting a 3rd grade spirit pill. A 3rd grade spirit pill is much better than the recovery pill obtained from killing monsters. It's a rare thing. But if it costs 1,000 crazy point to get it, it's not worth it. A 3rd grade spirit pill, forget about the lottery for now, although I can draw many times now. Nearly 30,000 crazy point is enough for him to draw almost 30 times. It's very likely to get a divine skill or a weapon. But for now, choosing to level up is the most important thing. Almost forgot, there is still a gift pack that hasn't been opened yet. When Lee Tianyun saw the gift pack on the inventory, his eyes suddenly lit up. Every time he opens the gift pack, there will always be a good thing. He doesn't know what will be this time. Open Gift Pack 21. After Lee Tianyun gave the order, the Gift Pack 21 opened, and immediately a series of sound came. Open Gift Pack 21, get 10 times EXP card, lasts for 1 hour, double Crazy Point card, lasts for 1 hour, double Proficiency card, lasts for 1 hour, open Shop Mode, Gift Pack 31. A series of sound directly stunned him. It's all EXP card. Finally, double Crazy Point card and double Proficiency card appeared. After opening the gift pack, this kind of thing finally appeared. However, after thinking about it carefully, it was best to give it now. If he gave it earlier, it would be a waste. 100 Crazy Point, doubled is only 200. Now killing a high-level demon beast can successfully get more than 700 to 800. After doubling becomes 16700. This effect is really good. If only I had this thing before. The Onion shook his head, feeling quite regretful. With so many cultivators, under this double Crazy Point card, their Crazy Point will definitely double. At that time it will not just be 30,000, but more than 60,000. Hey, what's the shop mode? After Lee Tianyun opened the store mode, many items were quickly listed on it. They were weapons, defensive equipment, martial arts, cultivation techniques, consumables, and treasures. The classification is very complete, but when he opened it, his face immediately darkened. It's not that the things on it are too expensive, but the things on it are all his own. To put it bluntly, the things on it are either from his own lottery or from killing demon beasts, or obtained by cultivators. There is no new thing at all. Repeated, no new goods. What's the point of this? Tianyun shook his head. He looked at the above. Frost Fist is also among them. The price is bought with Crazy Point. The price of Frost Fist is 5,000 Crazy Point. It seems that if I spend 1,000 Crazy Point to draw it, it will be worth it. Among them, double EXP card, 10 times EXP card, double Crazy Point card, are all among them. This made Lee Tianyun a little gratified, but looking at the price, it is very expensive. 10 times EXP card needs 50,000 Crazy Point. Double Crazy Point card also needs 50,000 Crazy Point. The price is not low. It seems that only these consumables buying directly is undoubtedly more direct. Forget about weapons? Lee Tianyun shook his head, and immediately his eyes flashed. There is still a little time left. Hurry up and continue to kill demon beasts, earn experience, continue to level up. He is now using 5 times EXP card, 10 times EXP card, plus crazy experience mode, adding up to a total of 17 times bonus. Killing a demon beast is equivalent to killing 17 demon beasts. Buddy, let's go. He stepped on the snow wolf. At this time the snow wolf's cultivation has soared to the first level of core condensation. Under the crazy experience just now, the snow wolf's cultivation also soared. This cultivation upgrade is too fast. If they say it out, it will scare them to death. Immediately they spent the rest of the crazy killing time. As long as they see a demon beast, they kill it no matter how strong it is. After all, there is not much time. If they still choose to kill demon beasts, they will certainly not be able to kill many. Ding, your 5 times EXP card time is up. Ding, your 10 times EXP card time is up. The time is very short. Lee Tianyun searched here, and finally only found 2 or 3 demon beasts. It is really not enough. In the illusory beast mountain, the higher the cultivation, the more they like to live alone, so it is impossible to kill a lot of demon beasts at once. It's a pity, there are too few demon beasts here. If there are a little more, I think I can kill a wave of demon beasts. Now he needs 500,000 EXP to level up. This difficulty is indeed a lot higher, but if there are enough demon beasts, it is still possible to level up. But it is impossible to level up several times in a row. It's almost time. I can go back to Jade Palace to see the situation. There is not much time before the heavens immersing ancient ruins opens. Lee Tianyun thought for a moment. There is no point in staying here anymore. Riding the snow wolf, Tianyun hurried back to Wind City, to go back to Jade Palace. Naturally he has to pass through Wind City. He will go back to see what is the situation in Wind City now. Phew, the speed of the snow wolf has greatly increased. In the blink of an eye, disappeared, and quickly ran out of the forest. Wind City, on the city gate aisle. A young man stood on the edge of the wanted post, looking at the portrait above. He couldn't help but smile. This bounty is really high. Capture Lee Tianyun, get 10,000 gold, a high-grade spirit sword, and a pill that can enhance your cultivation. It is really a big reward. Chapter 53. Lee Tianyun looked at the wanted poster. The painting is very similar, but he now has the 100 transformation mask. He can change into anything except a woman. Unfortunately, he can't change into someone else's face. Otherwise, he can change into someone else's face, so he can blend in perfectly. Brother, do you want to catch this kid? I'll go with you and we'll split the reward 50 to 50. How about it? At this time, a man patted him on the shoulder, but Lee Tianyun dodged, so he didn't touch him, but he didn't care at all. He continued to look at the wanted poster. His eyes are shining. This reward will make anyone excited. Lee Tianyun looked at him. His cultivation is only at the first level of spirit refinement. Obviously, he just broke through not long ago, but he still dares to come here to capture him? Not interested. Lee Tianyun ignored him, turned and left. Catch yourself? That makes sense. The man glanced at him, shrugged his shoulders, and immediately asked the other person next to him, Brother, do you want to catch this kid together? We'll split the reward 50 to 50, that's 10,000 gold. How can we earn that much? If you want to go, you go yourself. I heard that Lee Tianyun kills without batting an eye. I don't want to die. Yes, I heard that he massacred the entire wind pavilion. Blood flowed like a river, and all the treasures were taken. That's exaggerated, isn't he rich? If we catch him, won't all the treasures be ours? Treasures, without the cultivation of core condensation, how can we catch him? I don't want to die. The surrounding people talked about it. Lee Tianyun felt speechless, massacred the entire wind pavilion, but he only killed a few deacons. This rumor is so exaggerated, and all the treasures were taken. He really wants to rob all the treasures. These rumors are getting more and more exaggerated, and in the end, it's all twisted, making him feel helpless. But he completely ignores these things. Anyway, there's no need to take it seriously. Then he passed by Wind Pavilion and Rain Pavilion. Both are the same as usual. There is not much change. Although Wind Pavilion lost a few deacons and a pavilion lord, these people can be replaced, so everything is going according to plan. Although Heavenly Rain Pavilion is not as good as Wind Pavilion, but they are not easy to bully, so this time Wind Pavilion did not fight with Rain Pavilion, they just transferred their anger to Tianyun. Coincidentally, Ziyue walked out from inside. Her face was full of worry, as if she was worried about someone. After glancing at Tianyun in the distance, he didn't look at him anymore. Instead, he glared at Wind Pavilion and turned back. He didn't stay any longer. Looks like there's nothing else. Since that's the case, it's time to return. Just as Tianyun was about to leave, a familiar face walked over from the other side of the street, bringing an old man over. They looked at each other and were startled. They didn't expect to meet an acquaintance here. Young Master Yi? The one who walked over was naturally Yenling Shue. Young Master Yi? The old man suddenly looked up, and when he saw Tianyun's face, he suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. He thought it was Tianyun. He didn't expect to see a stranger's face. Little did he know that the person in front of him was indeed Tianyun, but he was wearing the 100 transformation mask. No one can recognize him. Miss Yen, what a coincidence. Did the dragon tail grass help? Tianyun has a good feeling about Yenling Shue. At least she doesn't play any tricks, and her attitude towards him is not bad. The effect is a little bit, but it still can't completely solve the problem. Pharmacist said that there is nothing he can do. He said that the dragon tail grass alone can't completely solve the problem. Yenling Shue smiled bitterly. Obviously the problem has not been solved. But fortunately I can temporarily suppress it. When I find the elixir I need, I should be able to cure it. I didn't expect to see young Master Yi here. Why don't we go back to the house together? I haven't thanked you last time. The dragon tail grass can't solve it? What kind of elixir is needed to cure it? Tianyun frowned. Unless it is other toxins, it is still very effective for hallucinations. Yes, I heard from Master Kong Liang, there is still a soul-returning grass. The combination of the two can achieve the perfect effect. Yenling Shue said, soul-returning grass? Tianyun frowned and said in a deep voice, the combination of soul-returning grass and dragon-tail grass can indeed have a greater effect, but if the effect is too much, I'm afraid it will cause permanent damage to the soul, which will harm people. The person who needs to use the medicine is completely unconscious? He is a third-grade alchemist. In this regard, he still has no problem. In fact, the one who needs to use the medicine is my father. Recently, he has been cultivating excessively, leading to cultivation deviation. Now he is in a coma, but he is not unconscious. He just wakes up occasionally and then falls into a coma. Yenling Shue thought about it and said, it turned out to be your father's situation. According to this situation, there is no need for soul-returning grass. In this case, dragon tail grass is enough. There is no need for soul-returning grass at all. If you use soul-returning grass, a little carelessness, you may fall into a coma forever, never to wake up again. Tianyun is not exaggerating. This is based on his current knowledge. Is this old man's judgment wrong? What sect are you from? Kong Liang frowned. He is very dissatisfied with Tianyun's judgment of his Dan recipe. I just made a little judgment. What's the problem? Tianyun looked at Kong Liang and felt very uncomfortable. When he heard Kong Liang's surname, he immediately thought of Kong Shengfeng. Plus he is from Wind Pavilion, it makes him feel a sense of rejection. Of course there is a problem. Now do you know better? Or this old man is a third-grade alchemist. You are questioning this old man's judgment. This old man dares to assert, in addition to this method, dragon tail grass alone cannot solve Yen family's hallucination. Kong Liang also emphasized his status as a third-grade alchemist, that is, a third-grade alchemist, generally referred to as a pharmacist. Tianyun's heart surged with anger. As long as Yen family's situation is the same as what Miss Yen said, then we can never use soul-returning grass. What a joke! Are you the pharmacist or am I the pharmacist? Kong Liang said in a deep voice. He is also unhappy. He doesn't believe that Tianyun is a pharmacist. I am also a pharmacist. Tianyun said, Miss Yen, take me to see the situation. As long as the situation is as what you said, then only dragon tail grass can solve the problem, not soul-returning grass. Yen Lingxue stared at Yi Tianyun in silence for a while, then immediately said, "Okay, then let's go back and have a look." Ding, successfully accepted. Cure Yen family's cultivation injury task. Reward, 10,000 EXP. Yen family's favorability increased by 100, Yen Lingxue favorability increased by 30, prestige increased by 20. Another new task popped up. This Yen Lingxue really came here to deliver her good luck. Similar tasks kept popping up. Except Chapter 54. Kong Liang didn't expect Yi Tianyun to be a pharmacist. Is there such a young pharmacist? At most, he can only be an apprentice. If he isn't a first-grade alchemist, he can only be called an apprentice. The most important thing is that this Yen Lingxue is really willing to listen to Yi Tianyun's words and is willing to take him back to try. This made him vomit blood. He is a third-grade alchemist, but he didn't believe in a young man. It seems that he has nothing to do with alchemy. You are a pharmacist, what level are you? Kong Liang was angry. A young man came out of nowhere, claiming to be a pharmacist. Is this a scam? Third-grade alchemist, is there a problem? Yi Tianyun said indifferently. You are a third-grade alchemist? You are a third-grade alchemist, I am a fifth-grade alchemist. Kong Liang didn't believe it at all. Yen Lingxue's eyes lit up. Yi Tianyun is really a third-grade alchemist? Such a young third-grade alchemist, his future is limitless. Miss Yen, are you sure you want to ask this kid to treat Yen family head? Kong Liang was immediately enraged. He glared at him and said, if there is any problem and this kid messes around, Patriarch Yen will never wake up again. Can he bear this responsibility? Yen Lingxue was startled. If there is a problem, Yen family head will really collapse. Yen family is not a big family. It can only be regarded as a medium family. If the family head collapsed, who can support the whole family? What a joke. Let's take a step back. There is really no effect. Remember, I will only use dragon tail grass. I will not add anything else. Even if I use dragon tail grass to make soup, stir-fry, or directly give it to Yen family head, there will be no adverse effect. It will have a soothing effect. Yi Tianyun said solemnly, Young Master Yi, can you really use only dragon tail grass to make my father fully recover? After listening, Yen Lingxue felt that she can try. If it doesn't work, she can add soul grass. No problem, as long as the situation does not get worse. Yi Tianyun said. Then there's no time to lose. Let's go back now. Yen Lingxue nodded and immediately said to Kong Liang, Alchemist Kong Liang, I'm sorry for the time being, we plan to give it a try. If it doesn't work, then we'll try your method. The effects of the soul-returning grass had been greatly affected by Yi Tianyun's words. How could she not be cautious? She is not a fool. If she heard that Yi Tianyun only uses dragon tail grass, then she will not reject it. If he adds something else, then it will be another story. Kong Liang was about to explode from anger. He threw out a sentence and said, I'll say it again. I dare to say that he definitely can't cure it. Since that's the case, I'll go with you to the mansion again. I want to see how this kid is treated. I'll say this up front, but if the treatment is unsuccessful and you want me to treat you again later, you'll have to pay double the price. Don't worry, if you really fail, I'll pay you double. Yi Tianyun looked at him coldly. Kong Liang said angrily, Good, good. I'd like to see what kind of ability you have, third-grade alchemist. Immediately, under the leadership of Yen Lingxue, they returned to Yen family. Yen family's background is still good. As soon as they returned, several guards greeted them. When they returned to the room, Yi Tianyun smelled a strong medicinal smell. Yen family's lord was lying on the bed, unconscious, looking pale. Yi Tianyun knew at a glance that this was not caused by injury, but by cultivation deviation, which caused the soul to be injured. This is different from the paleness when injured. This paleness is more terrifying. The soul is the most fundamental thing. Once it is damaged, there is no way to reverse it. If the cultivation is high, the broken arm can be regrown, but the soul can't be repaired. Of course, if the soul is injured, it will turn into a fool. How can he cultivate? Unless a heaven-defying powerhouse comes to help, there is no way to repair the soul. Yi Tianyun just observed a little bit, and said with certainty, well, It is indeed because the cultivation is too hasty, which led to this situation. Forcibly breaking through cultivation, a little carelessness will lead to cultivation deviation. But there is no problem as long as the dragon tail grass is enough. How did you do it before? He looked at it and immediately judged the situation. Do you still need to ask? You don't even know this and you say you are a third-grade alchemist? Kong Liang disdainfully said, "It must be dragon tail grass. Is there any other way?" Of course, there is another way, that is to add soul-returning grass to alchemy. That's it? Lian Yun said indifferently. Is there anything else? Do you have a new way of alchemy? Kong Liang frowned. No, but your method is wrong. No wonder there is no cure. You don't even know how to use it. How can you treat it? Tian Yun coldly snorted. If I really add soul-returning pill according to your idea, it will really harm Yen family's lord. What a joke. I don't know the method. Then tell me, how do you do alchemy? Kong Liang angrily said. Tian Yun didn't even bother to look at him, but said to Yen Lingxue, Miss Yen, I'm a little impolite. Yen Lingxue wondered. They saw Tian Yun lift Yen family's lord's arm, slightly cut his finger. A few drops of blood fell into the prepared jade bottle. This action made them stunned. How can he use blood? If you want to cure this situation, first of all, you must use his own blood, plus this dragon tail grass refining. This is the most correct method. Only in this way can you completely cure it. But many alchemists don't understand, not because they are stupid, but because they rarely see this kind of situation. They don't understand. Tian Yun said indifferently, the most terrible thing is to pretend to understand, thinking that you know everything. Who are you talking about? Kong Liang was about to explode. He wanted to kill Tian Yun. Did I say you? Why are you so excited? I'm going to refine alchemy. Don't interfere with my alchemy. If something happens to Yen family's lord, can you bear the responsibility? Lian Yun said. When Kong Liang just wanted to say something, Lian Yun took out a dragon tail grass, which was extra from the previous harvest, and threw it into the air. Whoosh! The immortal fire immediately wrapped the dragon tail grass and began to refine crazily. Without any alchemy furnace, he can refine alchemy out of thin air. This scene shocked Kong Liang as he stared at it with his eyes wide open. Generally, those who have an unusual fire in their body, their background is not weak, and they also need a very strong force to be able to control the unusual fire. This young man in front of him did it. Without an alchemy furnace, he can refine alchemy. This level of alchemy was far from what he could compare with. The words that he wanted to say were suddenly stuck in his throat. He couldn't say half a word. He was scared by this scene. What is there to compete? Just with this method, he has already left him several streets behind. Chapter 55. Generally speaking, there are only two kinds of people who don't use alchemy furnaces. One is a fool, and the other is a powerful alchemist with mystical fire. Tian Yun is undoubtedly this kind of person. He is not a fool, but a real alchemist. Just this move alone is enough to easily suppress Apothecary Kong Liang. There is no pressure at all. The two are not on the same level. Under the immortal fire, the dragon tail grass quickly melted and turned into a thick liquid. At the same time, Tian Yun quickly dropped the blood in the jade bottle into the liquid, and then quickly fused together. In this thick green liquid, there is a touch of red. Under his skilled control, the elixir quickly condensed and finally condensed into a pill, falling into his palm. Ding! Successfully refined a second-grade elixir, Dragon Tail Pill, gained 1,000 experience points, proficiency increased by 50 points. After the successful refining, experience and proficiency increased. It's done, Tian Yun said faintly. It's done. They all stared at the elixir in Tian Yun's hand carefully. This is different from the one refined by Apothecary Kong Liang. There is a touch of red. Although it is added with something, but in theory, it is not something else. The most important thing is that Tian Yun's technique is beyond their imagination. Even if he added the soul-returning grass, they are willing to believe it. Miss Yen, give this elixir to Lord Yen, he will wake up. Tian Yun handed over the elixir. Yen Lingxue excitedly took it. Without any doubt, she took the elixir to the bedside, After melting it with her spiritual power, she gave it to her father. I don't know, is there any problem now? Yi Tianyun looked at Kong Liang, not knowing what else he wants to say. Kong Liang's face is ugly, just this move alone is not something he can compare with. He coldly snorted, let's see what happens first. He refused to admit defeat. Even if Yi Tianyun's alchemy level is better than his, he will not admit defeat until the last moment. After a while, Patriarch Yen moved a little and slowly woke up. He asked in confusion, what's going on? Dad, you're awake. Yenling Xue was very excited. She just took the pill not long ago and it already had an effect. Well, I feel much better. The effect of this dragon tail grass is good. The quality of Apothecary Kong Liang's pills is pretty good. After Patriarch Yen got up, he seemed to be in a good state of mind. Although he didn't recover immediately, at least he didn't faint. Kong Liang was extremely embarrassed. How was this pill refined by him? It was completely refined by Yi Tianyun. Dad, this dragon tail grass was not refined by alchemist Kong Liang, it was refined by young master Yi next to him. I didn't expect that refining pills normally wouldn't work. I would need to add your blood to have an effect. This is young master Yi's suggestion, otherwise I really don't understand. Yenling Xue was very excited to see her father in a much better state. It's not made by alchemist Kong Liang. Yen family's lord was stunned and immediately looked at Yi Tianyun. Seeing such a young alchemist, he really didn't believe it. He thought Yi Tianyun was Kong Liang's apprentice. This time, Kong Liang was really speechless. Patriarch Yen seemed to be in a good state of mind. Before, he woke up for a while and immediately fainted. How could he persist for so long? There is no doubt that he has completely woken up and there will be no major problems. Since Patriarch Yen has woken up, I will take my leave. He no longer had the face to stay here. After saying his goodbyes, he turned around and left. He did not stay for long. Yi Tianyun didn't say anything. He just glanced at him. These small characters, as long as they don't provoke him, there is no need to pursue too much. Ding! Congratulations on completing the task. Reward, 10,000 EXP. Patriarch Yan's favorability increased by 100, Yenling Xue's favorability increased by 30, prestige increased by 20. The task was completed perfectly. It should be said that it was completed very easily. There was no difficulty at all. It turned out to be Brother Yi's help. Thank you very much. If it weren't for your help, I don't know when I would have woken up. Patriarch Yen looked at Yi Tianyun. Such a young alchemist. Naturally, he appreciated him a little. No need, it's nothing. Yi Tianyun smiled. Dad, this dragon tail grass was found by young Master Yi. He has already helped me once. Yenling Xue reminded. There is such a thing. It seems that Brother Yi really helped our Yen family a lot. Patriarch Yen smiled gently and immediately said to Yenling Xue, in that case, don't neglect the distinguished guest. Quickly invite him to the hall to sit down. I will be there soon. Dad, you have to rest well. Yenling Xue said. Yes, Patriarch Yen, what you need most now is a good rest. Don't cultivate for the time being. Concentrate on healing. The soul injury needs to be healed. You need to rest for a while. Yi Tianyun persuaded. How can I? Patriarch Yen thought for a moment and said, by the way, Yen, what are you going to give to Brother Yi? Remuneration. I haven't given him the previous remuneration. Yenling Xue remembered that when she brought Yi Tianyun here, she didn't think about how much the remuneration would be. Well, since you haven't given him the remuneration twice, I will take out the thing in the house and give it to young Master Yi. Patriarch Yen smiled. Dad, you mean to take out that thing and give it to young Master? Yenling Xue was startled. Yes, go and get it. Yen family head nodded and confirmed. Yenling Xue nodded and turned to Yi Tianyun and said, young Master Yi, please wait a moment, I will go and get the remuneration. There's no need for that, it's just a piece of cake. Yi Tianyun waved his hand, he already got the quest reward. Brother Yi, you must accept it. It will definitely help you. Patriarch Yan's eyes were firm. Yi Tianyun wanted to refuse but couldn't say anything. Well, since you said so, I will accept it, Yi Tianyun said. Soon Yan Lingxue came back and brought something wrapped in a red cloth. When she entered the house, she pulled the red cloth and a small cauldron appeared in front of him. This is definitely a treasure, and a very good treasure. This is an alchemy furnace? Yi Tianyun was startled. With just a glance, he knew that this alchemy furnace's grade is very good. At least it is a soul tool. A soul tool alchemy furnace's price is not low. It can't be bought in ordinary places. It is not something that can be bought with gold. Instead, they needed to be exchanged with high-grade materials or precious pills, and not with gold. Chapter 56. Yi Tianyun didn't expect that Yan family head would give him an alchemy furnace, and it's even a soul tool. If he sells it, the price will definitely be very high. As for how high it will be at least 1 million or more. Of course, this is only based on the value of gold. The real situation naturally can't be bought with gold. If you really want to count gold, it will be as high as hundreds of thousands, enough to see the weight of this reward. And Yan family head gave this alchemy furnace to him. He doesn't have an alchemy furnace, he can use it for alchemy. The effect will definitely be greatly improved. Especially the success rate, it will be greatly improved. He doesn't need an alchemy furnace for alchemy, but when refining high-level pills, it is necessary to use an alchemy furnace. Not only can it improve the success rate, but also better control the flame, condense the flame. Otherwise, the alchemy furnace would have been scrapped long ago, unless his level is heaven-defying, otherwise he will have to use an alchemy furnace. This is a soul tool, it's too expensive. Yi Tianyun frowned. Although he thought it was good, he didn't think much about it. He is not specialized in alchemy. Today is his first time refining alchemy. The effect is not bad. However, with his proficiency in alchemy, it is not surprising that he can succeed. It's not expensive, this is the reward for you. Our Yan family doesn't have an alchemist. This purple fire divine furnace is just sitting there. I will give it to Brother Yi. Yan family had motioned him to put it away. Yes, young Master Yi, please put it away. Our Yan family doesn't have an alchemist. Originally, I wanted to see if there were any talented alchemists in the future, then teach them, but I didn't expect that there would be no alchemist. Yan Lingxue sighed. Yan family's background was not big, resources were limited, training an alchemist was relatively difficult. But this is a soul tool, it's priceless. To be honest, it is a miracle that you can keep it here for so long. If it is known by others, it will definitely lead to a fatal disaster. Yi Tianyun said solemnly. Yan family can't keep this soul tool. This is a typical case of a crime. Yan family's strongest cultivation is this Yan family head, but his cultivation is only at the peak of spirit refinement, not even core condensation. In order to break through to the core condensation stage, he suffered from cultivation deviation. Yes, that's why I think Brother Yi is very suitable for it, so I gave it to you. Just take good care of it in the future. Yan family head smiled. Yi Tianyun was silent for a while, then said, all right, I'll accept this alchemy furnace, but this thing is extremely valuable, I can't just accept it. As he spoke, he mobilized all the gold he had and with a wave of his hand, it filled the entire room. Looking at the dazzling gold, they were all stunned. So much gold, at least tens of thousands of taels, right? These were all dropped by Yi Tianyun when he killed the demonic beasts or the cultivators who surrounded him. With a slight movement he could release the gold. Young Master Yi, I didn't expect you to have so much money. Yan Lingxue took a deep breath. She wanted to use the gold as a reward, but now it seems that she was wrong. This is for your development. I'll stay here for a while. You can purchase alchemy materials or refining materials. I'll help you refine a batch. In this way, your Yan family's strength will grow. This is what I can help you with. In the case of Yan family head being so generous, Yi Tianyun planned to stay here for a while and refine alchemy for them. Of course, this is also to help himself. Not only can he gain experience, he can also gain proficiency. Young Master Yi, you can also refine tools? Yan Lingxue and the others were shocked, wondering if they heard wrong. Yes, I can refine high-grade spirit tools, so I can refine a batch of high-grade spirit tools for you. This gold is just right for you to use to buy materials. Tianyun smiled and said, "Arrange a room for me, I can't stay here for long, so arrange it as soon as possible." "No, no problem." Yen Lingxue immediately reacted, "This is a big opportunity. They can't use this purple fire divine furnace, so they can only choose to give it to Tianyun. They didn't expect that in return, they need what they need the most now. What they need the most is an alchemy furnace. Obviously not, but a large number of resources." After arranging the room, Yen Lingxue returned to the room and said excitedly, "Father, you really made a wise move. This young Master Yi is really a genius. He can even refine tools. You think I like this?" Yen family head smiled indifferently. "I like him. He is an alchemist at such a young age. Either his background is not bad, or his talent is extremely high. In any case, making friends with this talent is the most important. He doesn't ask for any reward, proving that he is not greedy. He is very worth making friends with. What is a soul tool? He is much more valuable than a soul tool. When our Yen family is in trouble in the future, he will definitely help us." Selling this purple fire divine furnace can also sell for a high price, but there are some things that can't be exchanged with an alchemy furnace. That is a favor. Those things that Yen family head gave to the pavilion master are obviously not what Yen family head needs. Some of them are already kicked away. Why would he continue to help? What he likes is that Tianyun values friendship and righteousness. It would be best if his daughter marries him. That alchemy furnace, in the end, isn't it theirs? "Father, you mean that Wang family and Zheng family?" Yen Lingshue's beautiful eyes flashed with a bit of hatred. "Yes, if Yen family continues to be like this, sooner or later we will be annexed by them. But now that Brother Yi can help us refine pills and weapons, this can strengthen our Yen family, we can continue to persevere." Yen family head sighed. If he doesn't have a breakthrough in his cultivation, it will be too difficult to keep Yen family safe. Yen Lingxue nodded lightly, immediately said a few words and went out to buy materials. Since Tianyun said so, they will not be polite. Soon, they bought all kinds of materials and brought them back for Tianyun to refine. With the help of the alchemy furnace, countless pills were constantly refined, all kinds of cultivation pills, all kinds of healing pills. Refining is also the same. After refining a high-grade spirit tool, with the increase of his reputation, the success rate greatly increased, reaching 90% success rate. He doesn't need to use any luck aura anymore. In this state, his experience and proficiency skyrocketed. Ding! Congratulations to player Tianyun. Successfully broke through to 4th level of core condensation. Hey, I leveled up again. How many did I refine? Tianyun doesn't know how many he refined. Unconsciously, he leveled up. Chapter 57. Almost done. Tianyun felt that his refining was almost done. He refined 10 high-grade spirit tools and a large number of medicinal pellets for Yen family. This is already a great reward. Of course, he also got a lot of benefits. He directly leveled up. His medicinal pellet proficiency instantly rushed to intermediate level. Primary medicinal pellet proficiency is relatively low, so it is not difficult to rush to intermediate level. After he finished refining, he got up and walked out of the door. The maid outside hurriedly bowed and respectfully said, "Young Master Yi, how can I help you?" "They are on duty here all day, not to guard him, but to see if he needs any help." "Nothing, take me to see Miss Yen," Tianyun said. The maid hurriedly took him to see Yen Lingxue. When they just arrived at the hall, they heard the conversation from outside the hall. "Yen family head looks good. It seems that there is no big problem." Zheng family head sitting next to him said with a smile, "But it looks like there is a hidden dagger in his smile." "Yes, a few days ago I heard that Yen family head had some problems in his cultivation, but now his complexion is a lot better, so we specially came to congratulate him." Wang family head smiled and said, "This is our congratulatory gift, please accept it." Yen family head sat in the middle of the hall. Yen Lingxue stood next to him, but both of them have a friendly smile on their faces. "Many thanks for the kindness of Wang family head and Zheng family head. This Yen family is already very grateful for the two of you coming to see me." Yen family head smiled and did not accept the gift. "No need to be polite. Our two families have been good friends for generations. This is nothing. Wang family head smiled and said, but this time, we came here to ask for Yen family head's helps. What kind of help? Please say it. If this Yen family can help, I will definitely help. Yen family head squinted his eyes and smiled. No one knows what he is thinking. In fact, it is nothing. I heard that Yen family has an alchemy furnace, and it is also a soul tool. I don't know if I can borrow it. Wang family head said with a smile. A murderous intent flashed in Yen family's patriarch's eyes. Yen Lingshue's delicate body trembled. When did this news leak out? Wang family head, you must be joking. How could our Yen family have something like that? It's already good enough that we have a few high-grade spirit artifacts. Yen family head laughed. But the Wang family head slammed the table beside him, and it shattered into pieces. He sneered and stood up. Enough, stop acting stupid. The people we planted here have already investigated this soul tool alchemy furnace. Do you think we're stupid? I didn't make a move earlier because I was afraid of your big brother in the Qing Xian mansion. Recently, there was news from the Qing Xian mansion that your eldest brother died while training outside. What else do you have to rely on now? His face was torn apart just like that. His previous gentleness was all an act. Zheng family head stood up with a smile. This smile was so creepy. He gently kicked the box next to him and found that it was actually a coffin. He didn't expect that it was not a gift at all, but a coffin. Yen family head, be sensible. I'll give you a chance. Hand over the soul tool alchemy furnace and marry your daughter to my son as a concubine. Yen family will not disappear completely. Otherwise, from now on, there will be no Yen family in Tianfeng City. Zheng family head's words were even more straightforward. This coffin is prepared for you. Either you die here, we will bury you well, or you live, it's your choice. Both of them were at the first level of core condensation. Zheng family head was slightly higher. He was about to break through to the second level of core condensation. Overall, he was much stronger than Yen family head. When Yen family head heard that his eldest brother died, there was no surprise on his face. But Yen Lingxue was shocked. Her eyes turned red in an instant. Dad, Uncle He, her eyes were red. She instantly understood why her father desperately tried to break through to the core condensation stage. Because if he didn't break through to the core condensation stage, Yen family would be besieged by the other two families. Let's go. Yen family had dragged Yen Lingxue and gently pushed her towards the courtyard. At the same time, Yen Lingshue's aura skyrocketed and instantly rose to the peak state. But compared to the two of them, her aura was still too weak. Originally, her cultivation was not as good, plus her soul was injured. How could she recover so easily? Want to leave? Do you think it's possible? The whole Yen family is surrounded by our people. Zheng family head sneered. Yen family head's face became pale, but he gritted his teeth and said, "It seems that even the heavens want me to die." When he woke up, he wanted to evacuate, but the appearance of Yi Tianyun made him temporarily not choose to evacuate. He planned to wait for Yi Tianyun to finish refining the soul tool alchemy furnace, then choose to evacuate. He didn't expect that he would be too slow. I said, "Hand over the soul tool alchemy furnace, and we will let you go." Do you think I am stupid? Do you think I have been the family head for many years? Yen family head said angrily. You just want to take down our Yen family without wasting a single soldier. You want to let us go? Is that even possible? Zheng family and Wang family will let him go? Obviously, it is impossible. Leaving behind a root of trouble will cause endless troubles. Zheng family head and Wang family head showed a cruel smile. It seems that Yen family head's words have spoken their thoughts. Since you know there is nothing to say, the result is as you think, that is a dead end. Zheng family head sneered. A dead end? Who's a dead end? At this time, a figure walked in from the courtyard, followed by Yen Lingxue, standing behind the youth. The youth who walked in is Yun. Who are you? Zheng family head looked up and down at Yi Tianyun. He can't see anything. I am just a distinguished guest of Yen family. You want this alchemy furnace? Yi Tianyun stretched out his hand and the purple fire divine furnace appeared in his palm. Their eyes lit up, revealing ecstasy. This is a soul tool. Their heartbeats suddenly accelerated. This is a soul tool, a thing that ordinary sect does not have, but in the hands of a small family head. Yen family head saw Yi Tianyun came in with Yen Lingxue and said anxiously, why did you come back? Yen family is in trouble. It is not very moral to run away. Tianyun smiled and said, I did not expect to see a group of people coming out of the alchemy furnace. Just now I was outside, I know a little bit. Yen family head, you gave me this alchemy furnace. Originally you planned to let me take Miss Yen away with me, right? Chapter 58. Yen family head, I didn't expect you to give this soul tool to this kid. I don't know if you are an idiot or do you believe him? Zheng family head looked at Yi Tianyun and said sarcastically, not only did he not run away, but he also brought his people back. This is really funny. Kid, I will give you a chance. Give me that alchemy furnace. Seeing that you are not a member of Yen family, I will give you a way out. The two family heads look at Yen family's head and Yi Tianyun as if they are idiots. What morality is this? It's just a fart. Being able to survive was the key, not talking about morality and righteousness. Nonsense. Do you think I will believe you? Tianyun sneered. Under the skin, there is a dirty heart. If I give you this alchemy furnace, won't you kill me in the end? Will you really let me go? Zheng family head looked at him and sneered. It seems that you are not too stupid, but it is the same. If you don't give it to me, I will take it myself. You can't stop me. If you give it to me, I can leave your body intact, but now it seems that it is not necessary. As soon as his voice fell, Zheng family head rushed towards Yi Tianyun. The power of core condensation broke out. The whole room was filled with a very oppressive aura. No one can escape. At this moment, Yen family head rushed in front of them and shouted, Brother Yi, quickly go, take Yen away. All he can do now is to stop Yi Tianyun for a while, but it is impossible to stop them for too long. Yen family head, leave this to me. Yi Tianyun gently pulled his shoulder and dragged him back. Yen family head felt his body was out of control. He slid back and stood next to Yen Lingxue. The next moment, he quickly stretched out his hand and made a grabbing motion in front of him. A terrifying suction force rolled out from his palm like a tornado, trying to suck everything in. Absorbing Star's great technique. A terrifying suction force swept out in all directions. Family head Zheng, who was rushing over to snatch the pill furnace, was startled. He wanted to break free from this terrifying suction force, but it was too late. Yi Tianyun fiercely dragged Zheng family's head back and grabbed his arm. 4,000 EXP, 4,300 EXP, 4,200 EXP. Under the effect of crazy EXP mode and double EXP pill, his EXP skyrocketed. Family head Zheng only felt that the spiritual energy in his body was quickly sucked out, as if it was being dragged out by something, and he couldn't stop it no matter how hard he tried. What kind of evil technique is this? Patriarch Zheng was shocked and angry at the same time. He slapped his hand again, trying to send Yi Tianyun flying. However, his palm was easily caught by Yi Tianyun and continued to crazily absorb it. It's a pity that both of his palms grabbed family head Zheng and couldn't double the absorption rate, so the experience gained was almost the same. It doesn't matter what kind of evil technique it is, as long as it can deal with you, it's a good technique. Yi Tianyun smiled coldly, madly extracting the spiritual energy in his body. No matter how hard family head Zheng struggled, he couldn't break free from Yi Tianyun's suction force. His heart was already cold. There was only one reason for this situation, that is, the cultivation of this young man in front of them is much higher than theirs. At such a young age, his cultivation is already higher than theirs. What kind of monster is he? Let go of me. Wang family head didn't just stand there stupidly. He quickly picked up the spiritual sword and stabbed it towards Yi Tianyun's side. The terrifying sharpness flickered in the air, wanting to pierce through Yi Tianyun in one fell swoop. Yi Tianyun's eyes were cold, and he kicked family head Zheng's knee. With a cracked sound, family head Zheng screamed and knelt on the ground. His legs seemed to be broken. When he knelt down, Yi Tianyun quickly released one of his hands. With a silent command in his heart, the frost fist on the equipment bar was instantly put on his hand. A light blue luster flowed on the surface of the fist. Compared to the original frost fist, it has more spirituality. Ding! Lee Tianyun grabbed the spiritual sword that was stabbing over. No matter how hard family Headzeng tried, he couldn't stab it at all. Although the grade of the frost fist can only be regarded as a low-grade spiritual weapon, it was not so easy to pierce it. This power, family Headzeng was dumbfounded. He had used all his strength to stab, but he couldn't push Lee Tianyun at all. In the next moment, Lee Tianyun dragged the spiritual sword over, and family Headzeng was also dragged over. However, family Headzeng's reaction was not slow. He instantly let go and turned to escape. He already knew that he can't win, so he can only escape. Want to escape? Come back. Lee Tianyun raised his hand, and a terrifying suction force attacked again. Family Headzeng was abruptly sucked over. No matter how he tried to escape, he couldn't get rid of this suction force. Finally, his back was sucked by Lee Tianyun, and his spiritual power was madly extracted. This time, the EXP was different. It rose by 800, and it kept rising. Feeling the EXP constantly rising, Lee Tianyun felt very comfortable. If this continues, breaking through will not be difficult. Yen family head and Yen Lingxue, who were standing behind him, were both dumbfounded. They didn't expect that Lee Tianyun could easily suppress family Headzeng and family Headzeng. It was completely easy without any pressure. Obviously, Tianyun didn't release any terrifying aura, but he still suppressed them, and the gap is not a little bit. This brother Yi's cultivation is so strong? Yen family head's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that a teenager who is about the same age as his daughter can be stronger than the two family heads. When he gave the alchemy furnace to Lee Tianyun, it was indeed because he was optimistic about Lee Tianyun's future. He also wanted Lee Tianyun to escape with his daughter, but that's a matter for the future. He didn't expect that Lee Tianyun would immediately show such an amazing level. There is no need to wait for the future. His current strength is already very heaven-defying. He can help their Yen family suppress Wang and Zheng family. Young Master Yi's cultivation has reached core condensation. She was shocked and covered her mouth. She didn't know what to say. After a while, the spiritual power in the two's body was completely drained. Lee Tianyun threw them to the front. They collapsed on the ground and kept rolling their eyes. The absorbing star's great law caused a lot of damage to them. Their spiritual power was constantly being drained, and it also hurt their mental state. But soon they calmed down, and when they saw Lee Tianyun standing in front of them, their eyes were full of fear. You? Who exactly are you? Which sect are you from? The two of them knew that they kicked an iron plate, and it's not a thick iron plate. This kind of monstrous genius, there is no force behind him, it is absolutely impossible. Chapter 59. Lee Tianyun's cold voice made them shiver. Which sect is the most important? The most important thing now is to survive. The two of them looked at each other and saw the fear in each other's eyes. Winner takes all. If you want to kill me, it's up to you. Zheng family's head immediately calmed down. He did not beg for mercy, but chose to accept his fate. This courage is worthy of praise. Not bad, you have a bit of courage, but unfortunately, I don't appreciate it. After that, Lee Tianyun threw out immortal fire. The terrifying flame immediately wrapped around Zheng family's head and instantly engulfed his body. At this moment, he activated luck aura, 5 times luck. Ah! Zheng family's head screamed in pain. He kept rolling, trying to extinguish the flame, but no matter how he rolled, he couldn't extinguish the flame. Originally, his spiritual power was drained. It is impossible to resist the invasion of the flame. After a while, Zheng family's head was burned to death, burned into a pile of coke. There was no sign of life. Ding successfully killed Zheng family's head, gained 40,000 EXP, Life Flying Soul Snatch Secret Art, Human Level High Grade Martial Art, 1000 Crazy Point. His EXP has quadrupled. He gained 40,000 EXP, which is quite good. This is the effect of doubling, but also the effect of high cultivation, A level core condensation can provide 10,000 EXP. The most important thing is that Zheng family's head is not a big boss, he can only be regarded as a small elite. Cultivation is higher than the previous Zheng family's head, but it doesn't mean that he can become a big boss. He needs to meet certain conditions. As for how to determine the position, Yi Tianyun doesn't know. Anyway, he just needs to kill. Not bad, this can't be wasted. Yi Tianyun certainly won't let them go. It's not a matter of experience, but they were so cruel just now. If he didn't improve his cultivation recently, he will really die here. He was never cruel, but once someone provoked him, then don't blame him for being cruel. When Wang family head saw Zheng family head turned into charcoal, he quickly crawled up and knelt in front of Yi Tianyun, begging for mercy. Please don't kill me, I will listen to you, as long as you let me go. My Wang family will listen to your instructions in the future. Wang family head was obviously not as courageous as Zheng family head. He quickly begged for mercy. He didn't want to die. As the head of the Wang clan, how could he possibly wish to die? I feel that even if you listen to my instructions, you will betray me in the future. I have no interest in people like you. After saying that, Yi Tianyun flung out a stream of flames, which wrapped around the Wang family's head. Miserable cries rang out continuously as the Wang family's head rolled on the ground. The spiritual power that he had recovered with great difficulty was of no use against these flames. He was still burnt to a crisp. Both of them were not in the same level of cultivation. The power of immortal fire was naturally more amazing. Killing him in a second was not difficult at all. Ding killed Wang family head, gained 40,000 EXP. He Gemin Cloud secret art, human level high-grade martial art, 1000 crazy point. He gained a lot of EXP in human level martial art, but this martial art is meaningless to him. The grade is too low, he has no interest at all. But since he gave it to him, he will keep it. He can give it to someone else someday. I haven't leveled up yet. It seems that I need a lot of EXP now. Yi Tianyun adjusted his current attributes, and it was clear at a glance. Player, Yi Tianyun level, 24, 4th level core condensation, EXP, 28728 crazy point prestige, 70 points cultivation technique, Dark North divine art, Dragon God secret art martial arts, Absorbing stars great technique, Sky Cloud step, 10,000 swords return to origin weapon, Frost fist, Scarlet dagger, Wind chasing blade, Heavenly wind blade armor, Snow wolf battle boots, Divine armor, Shadow cloak divine ability, Crazy mode, Luck aura bloodline, Dragon god bloodline ornaments, Forging god hammer, Power bracelet, Power ring, Power belt all items, 20 recovery medicinal pill, 8 double EXP pill, Gift pack LV 31-inch. I need 600,000 EXP to level up. No wonder I can't level up even after absorbing their spiritual power. Yi Tianyun shook his head, but he found that the experience gained from absorbing spirit power is more than killing them, so it's more cost-effective. If he can, he is willing to do this, but if there are too many enemies around, he won't have a chance to absorb spiritual power. Absorbing stars great technique is more suitable to deal with a small number of enemies. If there are too many, he can't absorb spiritual power slowly, unless the grade is higher. After killing the two, he turned around and saw the two stunned people. He smiled and said, "What's wrong? What's the matter?" "No, I don't know, brother E. How strong is your cultivation?" Yen family head asked dumbfoundedly. 3rd or 4th level of core condensation. Anyway, that's about it. Yi Tianyun smiled, took out a storage ring and handed it to Yen Lingxue and said, "There are medicinal pills and weapons inside. It's enough to upgrade your Yen family's power by a few levels. The rest is either choose to leave Tianfeng City, or choose to stay in Tianfeng City. How to choose, it's up to you. Anyway, the two family heads have been killed by me. I don't know if you have any enemies?" No. Our Yen family has never had any enemies. It's just that they were too greedy and aimed at our alchemy furnace. That's why this situation happened. Yen family head sighed. It's really a crime to have a treasure, but he can't just hand it over. How to deal with the rest, it's up to you. I've cleared the cultivators outside. It's time for me to leave. Yi Tianyun smiled. Before he came in, he had already cleared the guards outside, otherwise Yen Lingxue wouldn't have followed him. But Yan Lingxue didn't expect that Yi Tianyun's cultivation would be so strong, much stronger than the two family heads. Young Master Yi, are you going to leave like this? Yan Lingxue wanted to keep him, but she couldn't think of any reason. Yi Tianyun's performance is too eye-catching, but they all think that behind Yi Tianyun, there must be a powerful sect behind him, so they don't have the qualifications to keep him. Yes, I still have something to do. When Yi Tianyun was about to say something, a sound of footsteps came from outside the door. A group of people came in from the outside. Among the people who came in, there is an acquaintance present, that is Kong Liang. Apart from Kong Liang, there were two other experts with extremely powerful auras. They had just entered, and their auras were overbearing. The entire room was enveloped by their terrifying might. Yi Tianyun looked up, the appraisal eye automatically opened, and immediately the information of the strong cultivator appeared in front of him. 4th level core condensation, wearing a soft golden muslin, can easily resist the attack of spirit refinement realm. Early core condensation realm can resist more than half of the power. Comprehensive combat power is 23,000. Chapter 60. As expected of a young hero, you're able to kill Wang family head and Zheng family head at such a young age. This level of cultivation is really amazing. May I know which sect this little brother is from? The middle-aged man smiled slightly. He looked quite amiable. I almost forgot, I am Wind Pavilion's Vice Pavilion Master, Yuan Ping. Do you want to make friends with me? Kong Liang, who was standing on the side, looked at the two burned corpses next to him, and his heart shuddered. Fortunately, he didn't provoke any conflict with Yi Tianyun before, otherwise, he would have died. His cultivation was much worse than Wang family head. Wind Pavilion? Yi Tianyun frowned. He doesn't have a good impression of Wind Pavilion. When he saw Kong Liang next to him, he knew the situation. He must have gone back and told everything, so Yuan Ping came here. He must have sent a few spies to check the situation here, otherwise, how can he come here at such a coincidence? Not interested. Yi Tianyun is so straightforward. He already caused some conflict, and now he wants him to join Wind Pavilion. Isn't this a slap in the face? Little brother, why are you so stubborn? Soul Tool Alchemy Furnace is a good thing. Yuan Ping's eyes flashed with cold light. He already inquired about the news. He knows why these two are here, so it's not surprising that he knows. Immediately, his tone changed and he said solemnly, you can take this thing, but there is a condition, that is to join Wind Pavilion. Listening to you, why do I feel like the real owner of this Soul Tool Alchemy Furnace is you, not me? Yi Tianyun sneered. Yes, I'll give you a chance. Join Wind Pavilion, and you can use this alchemy furnace at will. Or die here, like Wang family head and Zheng family head, you will become a corpse. Yuan Ping's eyes are cold, full of killing intent. Don't think that you're the strongest after killing Wang family head and Zheng family head. They just broke through to core condensation not long ago, and you can easily kill them with your 2nd level core condensation cultivation. Judging from your aura, you are at core condensation 2nd or 3rd level. To be honest, it's already amazing, but compared to me, you are still too weak. Immediately, his 4th level core condensation strength burst out all of a sudden. He's much stronger than Wang family head. He's worthy of being the Vice Pavilion Master of the General Pavilion. You Wind Pavilion have always been so lowly. Not only you slander and suppress others, you also want to rob them of their treasures? Yi Tianyun shook his head. He thought this is the end. He didn't expect Wind Pavilion to come to him again. Brat, I'll give you one last chance. Choose to surrender or resist. Yuan Ping said coldly. Beside him is another elder, who is also at the core condensation stage. This lineup is much stronger than the previous Wang and Zheng families. Seeing the Soul Tool Furnace, their hearts were filled with greed. If they let Yi Tianyun go like this, it would definitely be a huge loss. It's okay to join Wind Pavilion, but if you don't want to join, then he'll have to snatch it. Soul Tool Alchemy Furnace, that's something that even 3rd level faction wants. It's impossible for them not to be tempted. Yi Tianyun said indifferently, I'll also give you one last chance, either get lost or die. Yan Lingxue and Yan family head both took a deep breath behind him. Saying such words to Wind Pavilion is simply courting death. However, he had been forced to this point. He could only choose to join or die. There was no other choice. It means that even if you hand over the Soul Tool Alchemy Furnace, there's no point, you still have to die. This surrender is basically tantamount to completely obeying their orders. It's not a situation where you can just leave. Brat, I gave you a little face, but you still dare to be arrogant. Yuan Ping said coldly, in that case, don't blame me for being impolite. As soon as his voice fell, Yuan Ping rushed over here. The storage ring on his hand flashed, and a high-grade spirit sword appeared in his hand. He waved the sword and stabbed toward Yi Tianyun. The fierce sword flashed for a while, and a crazy murderous aura came from all around him. This move is already a one-hit kill. He wants to directly stab Yi Tianyun to death. Frost Fist, open. Yi Tianyun gently clenched his fist, and with it bang, a burst of ice quickly spread in front of him. In an instant, the group of people in front of him was directly frozen into ice sculptures. One by one, they couldn't move, they were stunned in place. Yi Tianyun walked over and muttered, Crazy EXP mode, open. Take 2 double EXP pills. Yi Tianyun walked over and used Absorbing Star Great Technique, and a crazy suction force rolled forward, and the frozen Yuan Ping was sucked and stuck to Yi Tianyun's palm. A steady stream of spiritual power was pulled out, turning into a huge amount of EXP and poured into the body. Especially after he stacked many people together, after connecting them, their spiritual power was crazily sucked in, and the spiritual power in their body was sucked in at once. 100, 000 EXP, 100, 000 EXP, 980, 000 EXP. EXP kept pouring in. All they can do now is to look at Yi Tianyun stupidly, they can't move at all. The effect of the upgraded version of Frost Fist is good, core condensation stage is still frozen by me. Yi Tianyun looked at them and smiled indifferently. The effect of this Frost Fist is as he thought. After the upgrade, the effect has been greatly improved, even core condensation stage can still be frozen. Frost Fist, low-grade spirit weapon, effect, ice attribute attack, slow movement speed, consume crazy point, can use special skills, completely freeze the area within 200 meters, causing super freeze, last for 5 minutes. There is no indication of how much cultivation can be frozen here, just how long it can last. The change is only the change in the range, the rest of the values don't seem to have changed much, but the effect is undoubtedly improved a lot. Yen Family Head and Yen Lingxue were dumbfounded, they just felt a cold air passing by, then Yuan Ping inexplicably couldn't move, standing in the same place. Yuan Ping's eyes widened, staring at Yi Tianyun. He wanted to speak, but he couldn't say a word, his whole body was frozen, naturally, he couldn't say a word. 5 minutes later, the spiritual power in their body was completely drained, there was nothing left. Immediately the freezing effect disappeared, they quickly collapsed to the ground, the spiritual power in their body was sucked out, their body became soft, and they couldn't get up. What is this evil technique? Yuan Ping was shocked, and his answer was the same as Zeng Family Head, they were all shocked. They have never seen a martial art that can suck out the spiritual power in their body, but now it is in front of them. Chapter 61. This time, when Yi Tianyun asked this question, his tone was so sarcastic and scary. At this time, Yuan Ping finally knew what kind of monster he is facing. No wonder Wang Family Head and Zeng Family Head were killed, it's not that they are too weak, but Yi Tianyun is really strong. I didn't expect you to be so strong, but I will never give in. If you want to kill me, I will listen to you. Yuan Ping did not compromise, but looked at him coldly and said, as long as you let me go, then today's matter will be written off, I will not hold you accountable. As long as you kill me, you will be hunted down by our Wind Pavilion. The Chief Pavilion Lord will avenge me, no matter how you run, you will not be able to escape. Yuan Ping is not afraid of death, he even threatened Yi Tianyun. As long as he kills him, he will be hunted down endlessly, he will never be able to escape. Is that so? Then I am looking forward to it. Yi Tianyun looked at him and sneered. He raised his hand to his face and gently wiped his face. The 100 transformation mask was taken off, revealing his original face. After Yuan Ping saw this, even the people behind him were dumbfounded on the spot. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. They have never seen this face before, but they have all seen it on the wanted poster. This familiar face is right in front of them. Inside Wind Pavilion, as long as they can capture Yi Tianyun, then they can become the Deputy Pavilion Lord of any branch of Wind Pavilion. In addition to the Deputy Pavilion Lord position, there are also the rewards. So many people want to capture Yi Tianyun so that they can achieve a meteoric rise in their career. Now this person is in front of them. Not only his cultivation is terrifying, but he can also change his appearance. They can't see through him at all. Yuan Ping did not hesitate. He slowly recovered from the shock. Pointing at Yin, he was stunned and speechless. No need for you want to kill me? Do you think I am short of this? Yi Tianyun sneered, and in the next moment he punched Yuan Ping heavily. Yuan Ping was able to resist it, but it was useless. Boom. The group of them were killed on the spot and turned into experience points that fell into the system. His experience bar skyrocketed. Ding, successfully killed Yuan Ping, gained 60,000. 000 EXP, double EXP pill, Heaven Feather Sword Technique, 1400 crazy point. Ding, successfully killed Deacon Lu, gained 15,000 EXP, double EXP pill, 800 crazy point. A series of EXP and items dropped from the assassin's corpse, falling into Nie Yan's inventory one after another. His EXP skyrocketed. Ding. Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun for successfully breaking through to level 5 of core condensation stage. Finally, after killing this group of people, he once again ushered in a breakthrough, successfully broke through to the 5th level of core condensation. This leveling speed was quite fast, but he still felt that it was not enough. If other core condensation experts heard Yi Tianyun's thoughts, they would definitely explode in anger. You still think this is slow? Those who are in their 30s or 40s are still at the 2nd or 3rd level of core condensation. How old was Yi Tianyun? 17 years old. It's scary to say it out loud. After killing the assassin, Yi Tianyun turned around. He didn't put on the 100 transformation mask. He looked at Yen Lingxue with his real face. You are Yi Tianyun? Tianyun? You really are the person wanted by Wind Pavilion. Yen Lingxue was shocked. Another explosive news. Yes, I am the one who is wanted by Wind Pavilion. Yi Tianyun didn't explain too much. He just said to them, I'm afraid you can't stay here anymore. It's best to move out of here. Otherwise Wind Pavilion or Wang family will pursue this matter. It's possible that you will be harmed. Wind Pavilion's Deputy Pavilion Lord died here. How can they not pursue this matter? No problem, Brother Yi, we will leave tomorrow. Yen family Lord nodded. Then you have to be careful, don't get caught by Wind Pavilion. Yen family Lord, aren't you worried that I will do something bad to you? Yi Tianyun smiled. If you are going to do something bad to us, you won't save me, and you won't help Yen. Yen family Lord smiled gently. He wasn't worried at all. Tianyun shook his head and chuckled. He didn't answer. Young Master Yi, are you going to leave like this? Yen Lingxue wanted to ask him to stay, but she couldn't think of any reason. Yi Tianyun's performance is too eye-catching, but they all think that behind Yi Tianyun, there must be a powerful sect behind him, so they don't have the qualifications to ask him to stay. Yi Tianyun smiled, immediately turned around and put on the mask. He said, yes, I still have something to do, see you later. Yen Lingxue opened her mouth to say something, but she couldn't say it. She could only sigh and bury it in her heart. Yen, do you like him? Yen family Lord smiled and said, Yen Lingxue blushed. She nodded, but then shook her head and didn't say anything. Hey, don't think too much about it. He has this kind of cultivation at such a young age. In the future, he will definitely become the strongest of his generation. His meaning is already very clear. He can't match up to Yi Tianyun. If Yi Tianyun is here, he will definitely see Yen Lingxue's favorability is as high as 270. She rushed up to Yi Tianyun, not because of a quest, but because she saved the whole family, so her heart is tied to Yi Tianyun. After Yi Tianyun left, he didn't stay in Wind City for too long. He turned around and continued to go back directly to Jade Palace. After leaving the city, he immediately rode on the Snow Wolf and rushed to Jade Palace. Inside Jade Palace. Palace Lord, heaven's immersing ancient ruins is about to start. I don't know when you will decide the quota. Great Elder next to her asked carefully. Shi Shuiyun's face sank. Ever since she heard that Yi Tianyun was chased away, she kept this expression. From the beginning, it never changed. Therefore, anyone who saw her cold expression would tremble from the bottom of their heart, and they would be very careful with their questions. Now it's less than a week before the opening of heaven's immersing ancient ruins. Yi Tianyun's quota has been empty, no one knows when it will be filled. Finally, Great Elder couldn't help but carefully mention it. Who doesn't know Shi Shuiyun's temper, usually very good, but now it's like she changed a person. No matter who it is, she doesn't have a good face. Empty it, wait for Tianyun to come back. Shi Shuiyun's voice is cold, obviously in the room, but it makes the elders feel like a cold wind blowing, so they can't help but shiver. But what if he hasn't come back by then? Great Elder asked carefully. I said empty it, wait for Tianyun to come back, don't you understand? Shi Shuiyun raised her eyes flashed with a bit of cold light. They immediately shook their head. This palace lord seems to have lost her soul, she can't hear anything at all, so they don't know what to say. Palace Lord, I know you are worried about Yi Tianyun, but we can't always be like this. When heaven's immersing ancient ruins opens, do you want to leave this quota empty, not willing to let other outstanding disciples enter? And he also said that he will no longer have anything to do with Jade Palace in the future. Moreover, Wing Sect and Wind Pavilion have said that if we dare to take in Yi Tianyun, or help him, it is tantamount to becoming their enemy. In this way, isn't it equal to causing trouble for us? The one who spoke was naturally the second elder. Although she had changed her mind later on, she was still very dissatisfied with such a big incident. She didn't expect that after turning around, she would cause such a big trouble for them. Second elder, do you think it's Tianyun who brought trouble to our Jade Palace, not because of them? Shi Shuiyun is as sharp as ever, from the beginning to the end. Qin Shui said everything, she knows the details. At first it was Kong Shengfeng, then it was Liang Tiancheng, and finally it was Yi Tianyun who angered Yi Tianyun. From the beginning to the end, how can it be Yi Tianyun's fault? Even so, we should know how to endure. If we don't even understand this, how can we achieve great things? Second elder said with dissatisfaction. Not everything can be tolerated. Our Jade Palace has been enduring for too long, leading them to think that we are easy to bully. Don't you think that Jade Palace has not been bullied enough over the years? Shi Shuiyun's words are very sharp, directly hitting the most fundamental reason. Forbearance is a good thing most of the time, but if you let others bully you, how can you endure? For example, this time the quota for heaven's immersing ancient ruins is such a situation. If it wasn't for Yi Tianyun, they really lost the quota. This is the result of forbearance. Second elder and the others showed a helpless expression. They don't want to endure, but their strength is not enough. They can only choose to endure. Palace Lord. At this time, the guard hurriedly came in from outside, looking nervous. Palace Lord, Wing Sect and Spirit Sect people are here, huh? Heaven's immersing ancient ruins is not open yet, they came early, there must be some conspiracy. Shi Shuiyun stood up, her expression is even colder. If anything happens to Tianyun, I will bury the entire Wing Sect. Her voice was incomparably cold, and it didn't sound like something a 20-year-old would say. However, no one doubted her words, because she really could do it. Even if her current cultivation wasn't high enough, she could still do it. Chapter 62. At this critical moment, Wing Sect and Spirit Sect coming to Jade Palace is not a good thing. Shi Shuiyun and several elders got up and walked out of the palace. Outside, Wing Sect and Spirit Sect's sect master came, and their momentum was overwhelming. Both of them are at the 5th or 6th level of core condensation, and they are both in their 30s. Compared to Shi Shuiyun, the gap is immediately obvious. Shi Shuiyun is only in her early 20s, but her cultivation is higher than them. She is at the 7th level of core condensation. It is estimated that in a few years, it will not be a problem to break through to Spirit Core realm. This is talent. It was only because of her heaven-defying talent that she was able to secure her position as the Palace Lord. In the entire Jade Palace, there is no strong cultivator of Spirit Core realm. She has such potential, how can she not sit in this position? Cultivation and talent are the most important things in this world. 2 sect masters, what can I do for you? Shi Shuiyun's momentum is no weaker than the 2 sect masters. If I remember correctly, there is still about a week before the opening of Heaven's immersing ancient ruins. Even if the time is up, you should go directly to Heaven's immersing ancient ruins instead of coming here. Standing in front of Shi Shuiyun are the sect master of Wing Sect, Qing Yunqing, and the sect master of Spirit Sect, Jia Jiyun, 2 sect masters. In addition to them, there are also several elders following them. Their momentum is very tense. It feels like they are here for revenge. Palace Leader Shi, this time we are here for one of the spots. Your outer disciple Yi Tianyun killed our disciple and Wind Pavilion's Pavilion Lord. Now this account should be settled, right? After many days, they came to Jade Palace together. Before, they just sent a message, but today they finally came to visit in person. As soon as they came to ask for the quota, they really came with bad intentions. Yi Tianyun has already said that he is no longer our disciple. Furthermore, he is only an outer disciple, not an official disciple. What he does has nothing to do with us. The second elder immediately stood up to refute. She was not willing to bear the responsibility. What a joke. So if we send someone to kill your people and then say that it's not our people, we can stay out of this matter? Qin Yunqing sneered. There was really no way to refute this. If everyone was like this, then that would really be the case. What a joke. Tianyun only did this because you kept provoking him. Your disciple was arrogant and despotic, slandering the weapon forged by Tianyun as inferior goods. Not only that, he even launched a sneak attack during the duel. I can only say that he deserved to die. Shi Shuiyun's face was like frost. She looked at them coldly and said, if it were me, I would do the same. Slander and sneak attack, even 100 deaths wouldn't be enough. Sure enough, her mouth is vicious enough. Shi Shuiyun is not afraid of trouble. In the face of the pressure from the 2 sect masters, she didn't care at all. Although Spirit Sect doesn't know what they are doing here, but since they followed them here, it's definitely not a good thing, at least not a gift. Several elders were startled and immediately shook their heads. Shi Shuiyun's arrogance is too much. Although it can improve the vitality of Jade Palace, it may also bring disaster to Jade Palace. Who can testify? Qin Yunqing sneered and said, as far as I know, it was your people who attacked first. We just wanted to take them back for questioning, but we were killed instead. I didn't expect your Jade Palace to be so unreasonable. Qin Yunqing's words immediately smeared the white into black. Take them back for questioning? Do you think we are 3 years old? Shi Shuiyun said coldly, don't even think about the quota. Please leave on your own and prepare to enter Heaven's immersing ancient ruins. Shi Shuiyun's attitude is so tough. She doesn't want to pay attention to them anymore. If the other side is not weak, she would have already rushed to kill them. Although she is only in her early 20s, she is not weak at all. The cruelty she faced in the past is far worse than what she faced now. Killing is nothing, but she usually doesn't do it easily. If she really does, no one can stop her. Qin Yunqing's face is pale. They didn't expect Shi Shuiyun to be so arrogant. She can be so calm in the face of 2 sect masters. It's really a humiliation. Palace Lord Shi, it seems that you don't want to give us face, then don't blame us for being impolite. Qin Yunqing gestured to the surrounding elders to surround them, blocking the entrance so tightly that not even a drop of water could trickle through. The combined strength of the 2 sects immediately overwhelms Jade Palace. This scene immediately made the disciples of Jade Palace pale. Are they really going to be ruthless? Sect Master Qing, what do you want to do? Great Elder stood up and said angrily, do you want to force us? The comprehensive strength of our Jade Palace is not as good as you, but if we really get angry, then don't blame us for being impolite. Angry? Qin Yunqing sneered as if he heard a joke. What other cards do you have? Marry a disciple of Qing Xian Mansion and ask her to help you? Or let your secluded old bastard come out? Listening to his words, you can hear the disdain in his words. It seems that he is not afraid of these things at all. Great Elder's face changed, and suddenly became silent. What's wrong? Can't say anything. You group of old bastards are in secluded cultivation. Even if you come out, your cultivation is only at second or third level of core condensation. And marry a disciple of Qing Xian Mansion. I'm sorry, Qing Xian Mansion already told us that they will never interfere in this matter. Qin Yunqing laughed. Yes, Qing Xian Mansion told us that they will not interfere in this matter. At this time, a person came out from the outside. It is the Chief Pavilion Lord of Wind Pavilion, Xiang Tianya, another strong core condensation cultivator. This is equivalent to 3 forces gathered together. There are also several elders with him. Their cultivation is also not low. They are also at first level of core condensation. When reaching the level of core condensation, it is already difficult to advance. It is not so easy to break through. Chief Pavilion Lord of Wind Pavilion. Second Elder's face suddenly changed. Why are you here? Didn't Wind Pavilion say that they will not interfere in any sex matter? Normally we will not interfere, but your disciple killed our people. That is an exception. Xiang Tianya's eyes flashed with cold light, but more than that, there is a smile on his face. With 3 forces at the door, how can Jade Palace resist? Shi Shuiyun has been maintaining a cold face, unmoved, as if she is not scared. Now I will give you 2 choices. First, hand over all the quota. Second, that is Palace Lord Shi will marry me, otherwise Jade Palace will be destroyed today. The one who spoke is Qin Yunqing. He looked at Shi Shuiyun with twinkling eyes. Marrying a genius woman, the next generation will not be weak. As soon as the statement came out, all the disciples were shocked. This is not as simple as taking out a quota. This is immediately raised to such a high level. Marry a pighead like you? Why don't you see what you look like? Do you think you are worthy? A familiar voice came from the door. Everyone looked at the door. A familiar figure appeared. It is Yi Tianyun. Chapter 63. Yi Tianyun's appearance at the door shocked everyone, especially at this critical moment. It's no different from an idiot. 3 forces, 2 of them have a grudge against him and issued a wanted order. Now he appeared in front of them. Isn't he courting death? In theory, Spirit Sect also have a grudge against him, even if it's just a competition. In their hearts, they definitely hate Yi Tianyun. I didn't expect you to come back. We have been looking for you for so long. I didn't expect you to come to our door in person. Do you have courage or are you stupid? Qin Yunqing looked at Yi Tianyun and laughed. His eyes are full of killing intent. He didn't expect that at this time Yi Tianyun will come to their door. In that case, let's kill him all at once, so everyone is happy. I think it should be courage, and you are stupid with your stupid appearance. You want to marry our palace lord? Wishful thinking? Yi Tianyun smiled coldly. He just came back and heard this news. Anger immediately surged. Wishful thinking. Do you think we are strong enough? Qin Yunqing looked at him coldly and smiled. Believe it or not, I can crush you with 1 finger. This is not a bluff. If Yi Tianyun's cultivation is only at 8th or 9th level of spirit refinement realm, he can really deal with him with 1 finger. Do you dare to try? Shi Shuiyun looked at him coldly. Her murderous intent suddenly burst out. The entire hall of Jade Palace immediately became cold. 7th level of core condensation broke out. 3 sect lords' face changed. They can't help but curse in their heart. They have to say that Shi Shuiyun is really too talented. She reached this level at such a young age. In the future, breaking through to spirit core realm is not a problem at all. Palace Lord Shi, your cultivation is not weak, but how do you think compared to us? Can you beat the 3 of us? Qin Yunqing is not afraid of her. He turned to the elders and said, catch him. How dare you? Shi Shuiyun drew out a spirit sword and flew over, charging straight ahead. But very quickly, Xiang Tianya and Jia Jun intercepted her and exchanged a blow with her. The 3 of them retreated, but it was clear that Shi Shuiyun had suffered a great loss. 1 against 2, she would definitely be at a disadvantage. Palace Lord. They surrounded him one after another. The three elders' faces were ugly, and now, they were also angry. Their demands were getting more and more excessive. First, they wanted all the quotas, and then they wanted their palace mistress to marry Qin Yunqing. Even if Yi Tianyun had done something wrong and killed their son, it was still rude of him to make such a request. "I'm fine," said Tianyun. Shi Shuiyun was worried about Yi Tianyun. She was afraid that Yi Tianyun would be captured. Too late. At this time, the two elders have already surrounded Yi Tianyun, staring at him. Shi Shuiyun can't help Yi Tianyun now. Not only the distance is quite far, but there are also 3 sect masters blocking the way. It's useless to have the help of 3 elders. The other side also has elders, and their level is almost the same. Unless they have a heaven-defying martial art or a heaven-defying weapon, there is no way to break through and save Yi Tianyun. Tianyun. Shi Shuiyun's eyes flashed with cold light, and it's getting colder and colder. Even her whole body is releasing extreme cold qi, ready to erupt completely. Palace Lord Shi, can you continue to move? I can't guarantee that the 2 elders won't do anything to him. Qin Yunqing said with a smile, I'll give you one last chance. Give me all the quotas and you marry me. But this time you have to add that thing from your Jade Palace, otherwise we will take action, and don't blame us for being ruthless. Of course, if you don't take the initiative to hand it over, we can take it ourselves. Well, you really have this idea all along. Great Elder gritted her teeth, and finally understood what is going on. Tianyun is just a cover, a bad excuse. What they really want is to take the treasure of their Jade Palace. So what? Now the choice is in front of you, either hand over the treasure, or hand over the quota, so that your Jade Palace has a chance to protect itself. Don't count on those married disciples. Qin Shen Mansion can't help you, what else can you expect? If you don't hand it over, not only will he die, but Jade Palace will be completely removed. Qin Yunqing laughed. The situation is in their favor, there is no need to worry about any mistakes. Shi Shuiyun gritted her teeth, looking at the trapped Tianyun, immediately put down the spirit sword in her hand, and said coldly, You want that thing? Fine. I'll give it to you, as long as you let Tianyun go. You're really lucky. Palace Lord Shi is so loyal to you. In order to save you, she even took out that treasure. It's really enviable. Qin Yunqing didn't expect Shi Shuiyun to do this. Yi Tianyun, who is surrounded by 2 elders, looked at Shi Shuiyun with a complicated look. He was just about to take action, but Shi Shuiyun said such a thing, he was moved. He doesn't know what treasure is handed over, but for the 3 forces to take action, it must not be something simple. As for the quota of heavens immersing ancient ruins, it's basically a bonus. The most important thing is to snatch that treasure. Of course, because she is my dearest aunt. No, it should be said that she is my dearest sister, worthy of my protection. Crazy mode activate. 10 times EXP card activate. Double crazy point card activate. Double proficiency card activate. Consume 5 double EXP pill. Luck aura activate. As long as it can be activated, he will activate it crazily, without any reservation, completely open. After activating, Tianyun has a wind-chasing blade in his hand, aimed at the 2 elders next to him and slashed fiercely. The speed is too fast, like a lightning around the 2 elders. With a crash sound, the 2 elders were cut in half, their eyes widened and fell to the ground, dead. It should be said that they don't know how they died, because it's too fast, they can't see it clearly. More than that, they didn't expect Yi Tianyun to suddenly attack, they didn't have time to react. Ding, successfully killed Wing Sect Elder, gained 130,000 EXP, 500 Blacksmith Proficiency, Divine Wind Cut, Thunder Rush Step, 2000 Crazy Point. Ding, successfully killed Wing Sect Elder, gained 120,000 EXP, 500 Blacksmith Proficiency, 2000 Crazy Point. I didn't expect that even Blacksmith Proficiency can increase. They must be blacksmiths, that's why they can provide this kind of proficiency. But he doesn't care about this, his eyes are cold, murderous intent rose to the sky. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.